You are my favorite player. The whole Twitter world knows that. So what do you think of Sam Walters' game?
Big shot Sam. He comes through in the clutch.
I'm not going to lie. I am very excited that Mark Sears actually knows who I am. How did it feel to take that charge this morning? I did run you over. I am pretty strong. So how did that feel?
Felt like when Brielle runs into me, like when she's happy to see me and comes up and runs into me, all 70 pounds of her.
I took all my anger out on that charge, I'm not going to lie. Mr. Chris Stewart, sir, I have a question for you. What's a couple tips for me to, like, improve my game as, like, if I'm trying to announce games in the future?
Say what you see, man. Just say what you see. It's all it is. And it helps if you got guys making buckets.
Yeah.
Chris, a little shot back at Sam.
Yeah. So drain one every now and then. So I had to ask him last night, which broadcaster that you see in basketball over the last few years do you think he thinks he's going to be most like? Because he wants to go into broadcasting. Then I'll play you the clip coming up on who he says.
Tell me it's not Gus.
Spiro Dides.
Kevin Harlan.
I like Kevin Harlan, too.
Both of those are not correct answers. This is who Sam Walters thinks he will most emulate when he becomes a broadcaster after his career. Do you have a desire in the future to be a broadcaster?
Yeah, that was something that I have thought about doing, like after basketball is over. But to be honest, I kind of just like doing stuff like that, like just messing around with like my teammates and stuff.
You think you're more Jay Billis or more Bill Walton or somebody like that? A little Dickie V maybe when you do this?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say I'm a little bit of Bill Walton as well. He's kind of a guy that likes to make jokes on air. But I mean, Dickie V is obviously a great commentator. So I don't know if I can compare myself to both of them are great. I don't know if I can compare myself to either of them, to be honest.
How many brain cells?
There's a battle flag that was raised in you, buried in the dark. There's an open road, and it's calling you out from where you are. So hold on to and carry it. Headlights burn white, guide me through the night. Foresight, remind not to turn these tides. There's a path ahead, and it's calling you out from where you are. So realize and wear it all. Burn white, guide me through the night. Foresight, remind not to turn these
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Well, here we go. Calipari's on a hot seat. We'll talk about that buyout and what could happen at Kentucky after another disastrous night for a big name brand. Almost another disastrous night for the same letters and different orders, UK to KU. But the call everybody's talking about is where we'll start, and we'll get reaction to Samford, who put on a show last night in a comeback that had the arena and most of the nation cheering for Buckyball in Samford. It didn't mean it wasn't a guarantee they were going to win the game. But that block foul call and the inability for us to change a bad call like that is up for discussion in college basketball.
Well, even changing it doesn't fix it because you'd have had to stop the game to change it. And what happened there, first of all, it's as good a block as a trailing defender can have. I don't know how a trailing defender does that any
Reminds
better.
me of LeBron in the NBA championship
Forget
that
Golden
year.
State, Yep. Game 5, the pivotal game that Draymond Green cost them everything.
But the key there is the ball ricochets right to a Samford player. They've got 5-on-4, down 1 with 19 seconds. I don't know if Timberlake is going to be able to scrape himself up. He hit the floor pretty hard.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have had a full 15-second 5-on-4 possession right there to win the game.
NHL power play
to win the game.
Yeah. Well, I think they probably score with time left, and whether or not Kansas goes down. Percentages say Samford probably scores. That is a difficult call in real time. Because I thought it was a foul.
From the official point of view.
Yeah, from the official trailing that play, watching with the naked eye on the couch. I don't know what you guys thought. I was like, oh, that was a hard foul. And then you watch and you're like, my God, that was an incredible block.
It was.
But I'm not shocked. I think 9 times out of 10, that is called a foul.
Yeah.
But what made it worse was the best angle they had. The official is almost blocking the camera. He's looking right at the best angle.
He wasn't the one that called it, though. And that's what always, we got 3 officials.
Yep.
And a lot of times the really bad calls are called by the ones that don't have the best angle.
Ultimately, the issue was Timberlake just mistimed his jump. I mean, it was all on him.
Yeah.
The block really didn't even force him to go to the floor. The fact that he just made an unathletic dunk attempt is what made him go to the floor. The block had nothing to do with it.
He did get fingered and it started to come out of his hand, but I don't know.
That's not making him go to the floor.
Yeah, it did. So, and
he should have laid it up, and
Nick
that's what Brendan Haywood said. Yeah.
And Bill Self said after the game, this guy is super athletic. And I wonder if that was like a cover-up for,
he looks
for the breakaway and not finishing.
He looks about 35 to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't know who looked
I tell you,
over.
to me, and I know that's the big story, but Samford to be down 22 with 16 to go and to be able to come back and make that a 1-point game, I mean, the effort was incredible. They did everything we said they needed to do. They hit 16 threes, more than we thought. They forced 18 turnovers, more than we thought. So based on those numbers, that's why Samford was in the situation to win. They didn't play scared at all.
Yeah, we got some reaction from the arena. So let's get to that. Brought to you by our friends at Autograph there. They're bringing you most of our coverage on the road. With the NCAA tournament, Autograph is an app. You can download it for free. All you do is put in your email address, and you use the code TNR, and then you pick your favorite team. It's that simple. And then you wake up every morning, hit the app, and you got stories and podcasts and post-game sound and all that right there with the Autograph app. Code TNR gets you into the game. Let's start with cut one, Rockstar, because Bucky McMillan, who even in defeat became a star last night. More on that in a second from Bill Self. But Bucky McMillan became a star last night because of the fight of the Samford Bulldogs on national TV, and it was the game everyone was watching. They will give us a number that will, I don't know if they'll break them down, Brownie, by the 4 different networks.
Yeah,
or
you'll see it since it's on different networks.
Or if it's just one big number. So it'll be 4 different networks.
Yeah, I think you'll get that was TNT, right?
Yeah, I would imagine
you'll get the TNT number.
All the games going on at that time, at this moment, when Samford made its comeback, and they may have lost viewers when it got to be 22, but when Samford was making its comeback, in the old days, when I was young, and they would have done, we're going to take you away from Washington State and whoever they were, Drake right now. We've got to check in where Samford and Buckyball's squeezing Kansas, and we'd have gone back to this. But on the foul call, this is another check in Bucky McMillan's box last night, because this will resonate with a lot of people, the way he handled that situation last night on this stage, because when you're Cinderella or David, whatever you want to use for Samford in this scenario, it could be very easily, because I was doing it on social media last night, and I've got zero ties to Samford, and I was upset about the call. Bucky could have very easily gone in here and played this totally different, but he did not.
I have seen the play. I thought AJ made an incredible play on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not faulting the call. You know, I mean, some people can see it different ways. But I was really proud of our guys' ability to go make a play. And at the end of the day, you know, AJ's recovery there, if there is no whistle, I'm not blaming the whistle, but if there's no whistle, we're going to have a numbers advantage going the other way to advance to round 2. That's how close the game was. And that's how well our guys played, because we were down by, what's the maximum we're down? So we're down by 22, and we're going to have the ball there, you know, however much time left going the other way with a great opportunity. So, you know, it is what it is.
Could not have handled that better.
Could not have handled it better. But you see from the eyes there, maybe a few tears in that locker room, right?
Maybe
understandable.
So. And I would say, obviously, if this is John Calipari, he's going to handle it differently because he's under different sets of pressures than Bucky McMillan is. I mean, Bucky's playing with house money, but he could not have handled that better.
Yeah. But I think back to my childhood, and the NCAA post-game news conferences are riddled with Bobby Knight, you know, chewing out the old guy at the end of the table and questioning how it's being handled, or banging on the table or slamming on phones. Bucky handled that with 100%.
Yeah, you're right. But it is different circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, he's not under the pressures of some coaches that bad call might have cost him their job.
Yeah, look, and Bucky's got options. Like, I don't know what the options will be right now. I think he is a hot name, but, you know, coming back to Samford's a great option.
Yeah.
And I think he probably will. He will definitely get a raise. Yep. I think there might be an offer or two out there for Bucky. We shall see what unfolds with that. But just a hell of a game. I mean, everybody that picked Samford to win this game, everything came to fruition. Like, Kansas only had 6 guys playing double-figure minutes. They turned the basketball over. Samford hit their threes last night.
When Samford was making the comeback, guys, and I sent that emoji out, you could see the gas meter on Kansas. They were on there. They were holding their shorts. They were running out of gas very quickly there at the end.
And that's on Bill Self to me. Like, how you recruit to Kansas, a team that won a national championship 2 years ago, and you don't have any depth. That makes no sense. And I understand McCullers, but look, injuries happen.
Yeah.
You have got to have capable guys out there that can at least break press.
They were short all year. They were short bench all year.
Like the guy that was the story of the night, though, for Oakland, and we'll get to that. He didn't even start the game.
Nope.
I mean, that's depth.
32 off the bench.
Know. But
you're talking about the laziest team in basketball.
Yeah, you had the wrong lazy team in the conference. I fear in officiating that all the stuff we can review has put too many officials in the mindset of, I'll call what I think I see and we'll clean it up on review. Yeah. Even if it's not a reviewable play, once you're in that mindset, it's hard to shake. I'll call what I think I see, and I've got a safety net in case I screw it up. Well, there's no safety net on that call. So if you call what you think you see, which we all said it, like watching on TV, I kind of thought it was a foul, but I'm not on the floor getting paid whatever they're getting paid. And the training they have to make those calls.
But I go to a lot of games in person, and I don't watch as many on TV as you guys do. But my goodness, if we're going to go to the monitor for 22 times, I'm okay having a red flag and let Bucky throw it out there at the end. If there's a close call, foul call, block call, charge call, whatever, throw it out there at the end and have a challenge. I don't mind. If we're going 22 times to the monitor, I'm going to be okay with a challenge, and we'll go 23 times in a play like that.
In that situation, Lance, now Bucky basically gets a free timeout while they review it. He's going to end up with the ball on the baseline, 20 seconds down one. He's going to get to draw up his final shot.
And maybe you have to have a timeout left to challenge.
Well, maybe
that's
I don't know.
The nuances you want to throw in there. But
if that call is not made, can you imagine? Bill Self's head explodes just because, again, from the naked eye in the action, it looked like because of the way Timberlake hit the court.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, that could be a flagrant. And it's not even close. I mean, it was just to get all ball on a block like that is just a massive play.
As good as you could do it.
It really was.
It was LeBron-esque. The timing is unbelievable. But you can't walk away from this season, but even last night against Kansas, the way Samford showed up, and boy, they're in Salt Lake City. The number of Samford fans were there, and then everyone else in the arena who started joining in, other than the few Kansas fans were there, started joining in with whatever the chant was at the time, they would be like, what are we saying? Let's go, SU, let's go. Okay, SU, here we go, Sanford, we are Sanford. I mean, they started doing it all. It was an amazing scene last night.
And even after that call, they had an opportunity to tie it up.
They did.
They did. And then Rockstar cut 2, please. Bill Self walks to the podium. And he pays Sanford and Bucky McMillan. Now, this is Bill Self. Pays Sanford and Bucky McMillan the ultimate compliment.
That's my first experience with Bucky ball, and I'd just soon not play against it again for a while. But, it's a hard game for us with very little depth, and you got to play guys the entire game. And we knew it was going to be like that, and there's just never a break in the action where you can catch your breath. But first half, we should have been up more than 10. The way I thought we played better than to be up more than 10. The second half, when we got out ahead, then there's no question they were the dominant team after that. I think we played kind of not to lose, and then they played in attack mode. I thought they were great.
I don't need to tell Sanford. They don't tell us how to do a show. I don't need to tell them how to run a basketball program. But if there is not some sort of banner hanging on the Hannah Center with a great photo from that game last night with the quote, "That was my first time playing buckyball. I just as soon never do it again, Bill Self."
That's right.
You ain't doing it right. I mean, I sell that quote everywhere.
I agree with Bill Self, though. They should have been up more than 10.
No doubt.
And they
missed
missing
their
nothing.
chance.
I'm sitting there watching this, and every time they shot, I was like, has Kansas missed a shot in this game?
Hunter Dickinson, though, if there was any question the shoulder was a problem, it wasn't a problem last night. That guy was flat out dominant. That's what you expected for Hunter Dickinson all year long. They had 54 points in the paint. He had 19 and 20. I mean, he was unstoppable. And to think that he had, again, if you would have told me Sanford hit 16 threes, they forced 18 turnovers, I'm like, damn, they probably won the game. But if you would have told me that Dickinson goes 19 and 20,
yeah, I know.
I'm like, well, Sanford got run out of the gym.
Your numbers were 12, if I remember from last night's show, 12 and 16, threes and turnovers. And they exceeded both those. But to your point, they exceeded both those with a bad start. I didn't think Sanford started all that well.
Yeah.
And had a chance to win the game.
Kansas was red hot.
Yeah.
Sanford was, not a great start shooting, and then Kansas was red hot through that game. It's crazy.
And they let Dickinson throw that elbow. There was the technical on the bench. I mean, for all the people that think the Blue Bloods get the calls,
they got a few.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch that game last night, you're like, dang. I'd like to argue against that, but I really can't.
Yeah. Just a great effort from Sanford. UAB, Auburn, Alabama in that order today. Little T is out in Spokane. Nick Pringle is there if you follow our social media accounts. You saw that yesterday. Nick Pringle on the flight with Taylor. We did not plan it that way. But Taylor was setting a few rows back. If you're wondering, according to Little T, there's the picture, boarding the plane. Pringle was not in first class.
Boy, so embarrassing for Nick Pringle.
It is.
Pringle was not in first class. He was, as Taylor put it, folded up in the general population close to her seat.
I have a hard time just on a regular flight, and I'm 6'2.5".
Was he 6'9", legit 6'9",
yeah.
you think?
Yeah, that's tough.
That's a lot.
And thick. He's thicker.
Did not get the exit row because he booked this ticket very late.
Very late.
Hey, so I want to revisit this just real quick. All right, unless you want to hold it. It's about that. If you want to hold it till we get to the Bama game, just remind me.
A couple of sponsors I want to tell you about. One of them, Bandwagon. We were at Odie's last night. And just a wonderful time with our show down there yesterday, watching some of the excitement unfold. It's a beautiful location. But what they've done in your hometown, LT, on that strip there, you have Odie's there and what used to be the grocery store.
Hud's Grocery, yeah.
And then Bandwagon is right next to that.
Yep.
And just an unbelievable facility. They've even got some seating out on a patio outside of a sports department. Just a great family atmosphere that you can go by there. Just a beautiful scene down there.
Oh, and look, we started the show at 4 o'clock yesterday, and people just started piling in, and the Sanford fans and the Sanford students that were coming out. It was just an awesome atmosphere, and Brown was driving the show yesterday, and he made this point. I mean, this is the ultimate day. I don't think we've ever had a singular day. I know Auburn playing in the Final Four against Virginia was big, but the way this thing lays out, a triple header in one of the two most exciting days for a college basketball fan and all sports fans, and the way this thing lays out, knock off work early. If you're a boss, let them go early.
That's right.
But you've got an incredible lineup today, and Odie's is a great place to watch it. The Edgewood location that we were at yesterday, the original location in Crestline, ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Great food from Rodney Davis. Get in, see Will Haver at one of those 2 great locations of Odie's Tavern.
And our friends at Bandwagon.
Right next door, it's a great place to go because they've got everything you need for a beach vacation.
Did you see the T-shirts they had outside?
I did not.
Sanford in the bracket, surviving. It was some Sanford T-shirts about March Madness. They were really cool.
Boys and men's swims, swim trunks like Chubby's and Michael's, water sports games, spring break next week. Make sure you're entertained for your entire trip. Next round, jump on the bandwagon, bandwagonsports.com.
All right. Before we get to Calipari in this opening segment, Todd Fuhrman coming up to start hour 2 at 10 Central. Just for the TV lineup here, UAB, San Diego State, 12:45 TNT. All these games in Spokane. A little T will be at every one of these games. So UAB, San Diego State, 12:45. We'll hear from Andy Kennedy later in the show. Auburn and Yale go at 3:15 on TNT. And then Alabama plays Charleston at 6:35 over on True TV. So those are the 3 local teams in action today, plus 2 other SEC teams, Florida and Texas A&M. We'll look at the SEC as a whole later on. But right now, the Kentucky problem that is their March Madness. In 2 of the last 3 years, they have lost to 15 seed St. Peter's, and then yesterday they lost to 14th seed Oakland. They were a minus 1,100 favorite to win that game. Usually I don't think you can get a money line on a big game like that, but a minus 1,100, and they lose the game, and it wasn't a fluke. It was Oakland for a lot of the game.
I haven't told you guys my weird dream from Tuesday night where it was the apocalypse and we were living in a world where grizzly bears were the biggest threat.
To us?
Yeah, and it was the weirdest dream. Rocky heard it at trivia the other night, and I should have known this was foreshadowing for the Grizzlies to take down Kentucky. I didn't realize this.
I didn't tell you the dream I had that involved you. Dunaway was out, but it was me, you, EG, and Rockstar doing a show from some random Mexican restaurant.
I hope that's not foreshadowing.
And we heard an explosion to our left and saw an explosion. And then a Saturn V rocket, like the old rocket that used to be out by the interstate that you asked the guy about that had nothing to do with when we were doing the broadcast, flies over us at the Mexican restaurant and lands on an apartment complex and destroys it.
Wow.
But we were
fine,
okay.
But we saw the explosion, then we saw the rocket take off, and then it levels out and it lands on an apartment complex. Right across the road from us.
There's places in the world that's everyday life, though, right?
Well, it's generally not a Saturn V rocket. That's pretty
maybe
big,
that, but not this grizzly bear.
Sorry,
problem.
Lance.
But no, everywhere I went, I was getting attacked. 3 different times I had to wake up. But the Grizzlies last night, and here is your problem. You have got 3 guys that are going to be drafted from this Kentucky team. 2 guys will be lottery picks that are coming off the bench, and Dillingham and Reed Shepherd. And it all goes down to effort. You were talking about South Carolina's lazy. For Oakland to out-rebound Kentucky.
Yeah.
For only 7 turnovers from the Grizzlies. That is lack of effort from this Kentucky defense. And you've got this kid coming off the bench.
He's an orthodontist. I mean, this kid's going to be an orthodontist one day, and he sets an NCAA tournament record.
And he said, look, man, I have gotten...
He's 24.
I know.
There is no grand illusion of me playing in the NBA.
Yeah, he ain't going to do it.
He hits 10 threes. Like, after he hits 3 threes, your ass get on him.
Yeah.
And what was the Hoosiers saying? I want to know what kind of gum he's chewing or whatever.
If he goes to the bathroom,
there's
go
no
to the
way you
bathroom.
cannot shut that guy down. If you want to, shut that guy down.
Okay, you tell me, Jack Golke.
And he hit some deep ones, I know.
Jack Golke hits three threes against Samford. You think Bucky's making any adjustments?
Yeah.
Right?
10 out of 20 on the game, Jim. You don't let him get 20 off if he's going to hit that many.
If he hits 3 against Bruce Pearl and Stephen Pearl, you think they're adjusting? You think 3 on Nate Oats?
Yep.
You think they're adjusting?
You can't tell me
what
that
the hell does Calipari
Kentucky
get paid for?
doesn't have some 5-star sitting on their bench that plays 5 or 6 minutes a game that can play lights out defense if he wants to. I don't want you shooting the basketball. I want you on this dude. I want you to embarrass him defensively. That is the problem with Kentucky. They don't have an edge right now.
Nope.
And to lose to St. Peter's 2 years ago in the first round and to lose this game, it's unacceptable. Calipari, I thought I was one of those guys. I was like, he's just had some bad breaks in the tournament. These are unacceptable breaks. It's not in the Sweet 16 when you're losing to a really good team on a final shot. Oakland played toe-to-toe with Kentucky all night long, and if I'm a Kentucky fan, I'm completely disgusted.
James in the chat room says Oates wants to know if that Goki guy can defend. He can't. They weren't even making him defend.
That's right.
They were letting him stand around on defense just so they could keep him in the game and didn't wear him out.
I think Oakland was shocked.
Kentucky still couldn't take advantage of it.
I think they were shocked.
You think Oakland was shocked that they didn't play more defense on him. Yeah.
Like Jack gets to stay out there a little bit longer.
Jack,
keep shooting.
You need to tap out, Jack? No,
No,
I'm not even having to move.
I'm not even having to play
I'm just
defense.
sort of standing
Ross
here.
is
That's all
right.
he did.
It's I will not back Kentucky again. This is my Purdue moving forward.
It may be mine,
said.
as long as Cal's there.
I did say this could be an interesting special year for Kentucky. I said it yesterday on the show before the game tipped.
Yep.
I was like, if Kentucky plays like they played in Neville, they can cut the nets down, and I would not be surprised. I am shocked they lost that game.
They were the most bet team in Las Vegas. We can ask Fuhrman to confirm this, but what I read, the most bet team to win the national championship was the Kentucky Wildcats.
Wish I'd known that before I put them in my Final Four, Lance.
The most
Thanks for
bet
not
team
sharing that
to
with
win
me.
the national title.
I stayed away from that game altogether
I
yesterday.
mean, I had them in my Final Four, so I was believing that this Kentucky team, a light was going to come on. And I'll, like Purdue, like Tennessee, I'll never believe in Cal in this tournament again if he gets another chance to coach in it.
Yeah, more on that after we hear from Cal. Rockstar Cut 6, Forster putting together all this great post-game sound from last night. You've already heard from Bucky and Bill Self. Here's John Calipari just talking in the aftermath of this one. And really, he's talking like a guy that knows, if you guys want me out of here, just pay me $33 million and I won't come back. Here's John Calipari.
I hate it for these guys that people try to define this season by that game. And it's natural and it's how this business works. But this group was a ball to coach. And, we did things to help them and bring them together, and they did it for each other. They've got great hearts. And, that's what's devastating about this for me. Yeah, I've lost tough games before, and we won some really buzzer beater games at pulling game. I mean, I've been through everything in my career, so
Been a while.
But this is one that's like, man.
Well, I mean,
boy, he needs to be more. I would be like, this is embarrassing. I am sorry, Kentucky Nation. I'm giving you my money back for this year.
Yeah, I owe you $9
Two
million.
times in the first round I've lost with this type of talent. Just look at NBA rosters and how littered they are with dominant Kentucky players that ultimately didn't do anything at Kentucky.
Again, we did this the other day. In those terms that you're talking about, and taking college players and putting them in your professional league, the only modern-day comparison he has is Nick Saban.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only modern-day comparison that John Calipari has is Nick Saban. In those terms, in terms of taking my college guys and putting them in their professional sport. Nick Saban, can you imagine if he had done all that at Alabama, what did it end up being, 17 years? Is that right? 15 years, whatever it was? And he had one national championship. However long Saban was there. How long was he there? I've lost track of it.
17.
17 years. One national championship. What would we say about Nick Saban? We would say, hey, he won
a lot of meat on the bone.
A lot of games, but boy, did you leave a lot on the table.
Yeah. I mean, truthfully, he won 6, and we feel like he left some on the table.
Yeah. You look back and you're like, boy, you could have easily won this, and this. And Calipari, this guy has won 1. And what is even more of an indictment on him is he has allowed Alabama, Auburn, and Tennessee to become the 3 teams that run this conference.
Yeah.
He can't even run his own conference, much less win the NCAA tournament.
And that's not just for this year.
No.
It's not for 2 years.
That's been for 4 or 5.
Since 2019.
Yeah.
It hasn't been Kentucky's league since 2019.
Alabama, Auburn, and Tennessee run this league.
But something has happened. In 2012, they were just flat out dominant, winning the national championship. But I think it was it 13 or 14 when they had the Harrison twins and they were an 8 seed and they played for the national championship. He did a hell of a job of coaching that team. So I don't think he is... I don't think he's the best X's and O's coach out there. I think he's a hell of a coach, though, and he's a great recruiter. I just think he has lost his edge, which ultimately means that program has lost their edge.
That's right. That's a great point. So here's the $1 million question. At $33.4 million, would you buy him out?
He's got this weird contract where...
See, and I thought $18 million was the highest buyout in college basketball.
What he is owed is 75% of the remaining money on his contract.
That's if you fire. $18 million is if you hire.
Yeah. If he leaves and goes, like Nate would be leaving to go somewhere else, that's a buyout.
So he's got this weird contract done away where there's this provision in there that when he steps away, he's guaranteed basically an AD job, an associate AD job that pays almost $1 million. So there's that parachute for him that they put in there, and I don't know what it was in reaction to. I don't know why he got that big contract, but somehow...
Probably an NBA job that has floated several times.
Maybe, but his agent held Kentucky up, and they gave him that contract. So now, the choices are, if you're Calipari, do you just put an end to this misery and you go take that job and then fans over time will forget all this, and he'll become kind of celebrated, I would think. Now, I don't know Kentucky that well. I don't know how you pay $33 million to get rid of him this day and age. That's a lot of money.
And
for basketball.
Who are you getting? I mean, obviously Kentucky can have the pick of the litter, but Nate Oats was the guy when we had dinner next to the Kentucky fans that were upset at the SEC tournament last year. They were like, "We want Nate Oats."
Well, if you want him, you know what $33 million just became?
$50 million.
$51 million.
Yeah, got to pay $18 million to get it. But again, tip to the cap to Greg Byrne, who had that contract already signed before Kentucky lost again. Because Louisville, Michigan, now Kentucky could be open if they pay that. I would.
He's not going anywhere.
Oh, listen, I would. I mean,
you would if you were Cal. You'd walk away.
No, I wouldn't walk away. If I was Kentucky, I would get my horse money together and I'd pay it. They've got plenty.
They've got plenty of money, but who are you going to hire?
I don't care. I'm tired of this.
I don't care.
This is a Dunaway business.
No, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this.
Well, I am too. But you got to have a plan in place. Like if you were, is Tony Barnhart, not Tony Barnhart, Mitch Barnhart still the AD up there?
Dude,
if you're Mitch Barnhart, give me 3 guys.
Give me 3 guys.
Give me 3 guys.
I will give you 3 guys who beat him right now. I'd find.
You'd go hire that Greg Campy guy? He's like 70.
I mean, crap. Somebody. I mean,
no, you know who I'd
would
hire?
Be better than this
and
guy.
I think he would walk. Chris Beard. I really would.
Oh, I mean,
I'd be like, you know what?
Chris Beard would walk. Yeah.
Kentucky fans, he's got a black cloud over him. But you guys want national championships? Let's bring him in. And he would leave as loyal as he is, much like Bruce Pearl loyal to Auburn. Chris Beard would walk.
So apparently Matt Jones, your buddy up there in Kentucky, is saying Brad Stevens. That's who their first call is going to be.
Why not?
Yeah.
I would.
Hell of a coach.
Yeah. Billy Donovan's out there. I'd call Billy Donovan.
I don't know if you guys noticed, though, Brad Stevens doing a pretty good job in the front office with the Boston Celtics. They lose like once a month in the NBA.
So back to your point, though, I would make these calls now. And if you can get a verbal, then he's out and I pay the $33 million. My whole point is I just wouldn't get rid of him until you know who you can get.
Yeah. And I would agree with Lance.
I don't care.
I'm fine getting rid of him, but have a plan.
I get rid of him. We go find somebody, and if it's not Brad Stevens, and if it's not Chris Beard, it'll be somebody.
Well, Paul's got a good point here. Jay Wright, and a lot of people believed he wanted to get out because of the NIL. Well, guess what? Villanova doesn't have it. Kentucky can have it in basketball as much as they want. And Jay Wright would be a slam dunk.
What I need to know about Jay Wright, did he just not like the concept of NIL and having to deal with that, or did he look at Villanova and say there is zero chance we can compete in an NIL world?
I've got a feeling it was a combination of both.
Yeah.
Because I think at that point when he left, it wasn't trending in this direction where teams like Villanova were going to be completely wiped out. It was more about the athlete being me.
And listen, if Brad Stevens only 47, that's amazing, G. Kerbo. But
he's lived a lot for 47.
He really has. I would tell you this: if I'm going to lose to 14 and 15 seeds, I'm going to lose with a cheaper coach. I'm going to lose with a younger coach, and I'm going to lose with a coach who isn't always looking down his nose at my fans. Those are the 3 I'm going to go with.
What do you, and I'm sorry, Lance, but what pisses you off more if you're a Kentucky fan? Your tournament performance or the fact that you've allowed Nate Oats, Rick Barnes, and Bruce Pearl to have better programs than you?
All of the above.
Yeah, all of the above.
I do think it's all of it, yeah.
Because listen to me. Those Kentucky fans, they flooded Nashville with their hard-earned money, and they were not rewarded. And they flood the NCAA tournament, Pittsburgh, in this situation, and they're not rewarded. You see those people in the stands last night? Those people in the stands, I mean, they're sitting there going, well, it's happened again.
I got to go sell another ticket.
I mean, if you ask me,
this was their thought. You see them sitting there thinking as the game was wearing on. They were going, well, dang, last week we lost on Friday and we killed time in Nashville on Saturday and checked out on Sunday like we were going to anyway, and then drove back to Kentucky. What are we going to do the rest of this weekend here in Pittsburgh? Is there
tickets got a lot cheaper in Pittsburgh? Look, we've been subjected to it, so I feel comfortable saying I think it is the best fan base, whether you like them or not, in all of college basketball.
Most passionate.
Yeah. I mean, dude on Trash on the Table lost his prosthetic leg, and it was all Kentucky flavor. He was that big of a Kentucky fan. But here's what I would do. If he does come back next year, put him in the barrel, let everyone know this is a make or break year for Calipari, and see if he can get that edge
back. So make it Brian Ferentz, give him a Brian Ferentz deal, like he's got to meet these certain standards to
Final
keep his job.
Four are gone.
I don't want to live it again. I don't want to live it again if I'm a Kentucky fan. Thank God I'm not a Kentucky fan. Show being brought to you today by our friends at Urology Centers.
By the way, how far did you guys have them go?
Oh, I've got them in the Final Four, Lance. It was a devastating loss to me.
I think Elite Eight.
I think you got them in the same. Yeah. So it's not devastating for Brown. We'll update you on the standings, all that coming up. A long opening segment there, brought to you in part by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA, I like to call them, 205-930-0920. UrologyCentersAlabama.com is the website. You see it on the screen if you're watching us on all of our great video platforms. Listen, they've got 35 urologists, 16 locations all over the great state of Alabama. So you can make an appointment, everything from prostate health to kidney stones, everything in between. Stay on top of it, men. Urology Centers of Alabama, 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. James says it goes down to $25 million next year. It's $27 million, but I get your point there, James. I don't care. I'm not going another year.
Yeah.
27 to 33.
Yeah, I'm not going to save any money.
That's half a horse. Half a horse. Half a thoroughbred up there. I live there. I know how much they pay for those daggum horses. When we come back, we'll start setting the table for UAB, first game out. For Auburn, second game out. For Alabama, the early prime window. And update you on all that as we move throughout the day. Day 2 of the NCAA tournament right here on TNR.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
It's that time of year. Hoops, hops, and wings with our friends at Walk-Ons. We're talking about the unbelievable madness of the best viewing and the best food in town.
This tournament season, try any of the 3 local walk-ons in Trussville, Stadium Trace in Hoover, and also the Greystone location. A wonderful menu with original food, great drinks, but most importantly in tournament season, TVs everywhere, so you can keep up with how your bracket's burning.
Your home for all the tournament action is Walk-On Sports Bistro.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok while we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Listen, you guys know I'm Alabama guy through and through. But you just think Bruce Pearl and Auburn's lost a couple of recruits to that G League Ignite that is shutting its doors now because the NBA announcing yesterday that the G League Ignite, which was the team they created to pay $50,000, $100,000 to high schoolers not to go to college, to go straight to the G League. And Auburn had two big, I forget their names now, but 2 different years had big recruits that were going to go to Auburn, but took the money to the G League. Yesterday, they make the announcement, the NBA does, we can't.
That didn't work.
The business model doesn't work for us to outbid the colleges
Yeah,
anymore.
and I remember what it came down to, guys obviously having to go for 1 year. It was, do you go overseas and play in Greece, or do you go play in this league? And, you'll make $150,000, $200,000 in each. Well, you know what? Hunter Dickinson, I think, got close to $1 million.
So to me, that's the bigger side of this story, is what you were saying, is that the college NIL has become so lucrative. Why would you go play for the G League Ignite? That makes no sense.
That's why Mark Sears will be back in college basketball next year.
Yeah.
Shutting it down, the G League Ignite.
Now, that's just the one team. Again, like Squadron and people like that are associated with other franchises. They're still going.
The G League is fine.
Yeah, it's the
Ignite, one that
right.
was paying the elite high schoolers to come and get their experience in the NBA format instead of going to college. The NIL put them out of business. The G League is still fine and healthy and a big part of the NBA minor leagues, if you will. But the fact that Ignite is gone, now the NBA, the college coaches are saying, you got us for a few years, but we got you back there. And pretty interesting. All right. Part of the show being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Tell us about Hemp Hill LT, and we'll jump into some phone calls and maybe some more reaction to yesterday's action.
Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, our friends at Hemp Hill Services, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Lunsford says the Ignite also is 2-28 this year.
Probably didn't help. Who's their coach?
I don't know, but he's not on Kentucky's short list.
He can do as much, apparently.
I mean, you remember when Cal was a grinder, though. I mean, at UMass had him in the Final Four with Marcus Camby.
Well, he's taking everybody to the Final Four now. A lot of times they have to roll up banners and put them in storage, but still.
Brett is with us on the road somewhere, probably where there's cell service, but not a lot of tall buildings. How you doing, Brett?
I'm good, guys. How y'all doing?
Awesome.
I'm out in Dumbass, Texas, headed to Louisiana.
Is that not pronounced dumbass?
Well, that's what I told Rocky, but, I wasn't going to go there. I'll let you do that.
Yeah. I really do think that's what it's pronounced, right? Is it not pronounced that way?
No, I think it's pronounced Dumas.
Well, why would somebody name their town?
Where are you from, dumbass?
I mean, do you really think somebody named it? This is a beautiful place. We're going to start our family here. What are we going to call it? Let's call it Dumbass, Texas.
Well, my dad, for a short period of time, delivered something for a company out of Pelham,
right?
And he would joke when he'd come back. It was just on the other side of Dumbass, Texas. So
it's Dumas, Rockstar?
Most people say Dumas, but locals pronounce it as Dumas, D-O-O-M-U-S-S.
Dumas is where you are, Brett.
Yeah. So I was listening to Danny and Dusty this morning, and LT, before I say what I'm going to say, don't roll your eyes. They were talking about the women's tournament, and I did not know this, but the top 4 seeds in each bracket on the women's side host the first game.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I haven't looked at the bracket to see if it's the first 2 rounds.
It is the first 2 rounds.
Okay. So we're all kind of scratching our head figuring out why the hell is UAB, Alabama, and Auburn in Spokane. If the men's side were to do that, you'd have Alabama and Auburn hosting first 2 rounds at home this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that, though. I like it at a neutral site. The only reason the women's game does it is it just does not have the same level of funding as the men's game. So financially, it makes more sense. You're going to sell more tickets to play it on campus. I think it's just fairly recent that the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 are away from campus sites, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
I mean, relatively speaking, I think you're correct,
Yeah.
yes. How's your bracket, Brett?
It is totally trash. Thank you, John Calipari, you jerk.
Jerk. Well, I think a lot of people
everybody's on the same boat. Now, if you had Kentucky win the national championship, which some people did, that's the problem.
Did you have them winning the whole thing?
Yes, I had them going all the way. I only have one. I only had one seed in my one seed in my Final Four, and that's UConn. And I had Kentucky, and I think Creighton and somebody else in my Final Four. But I didn't get to watch the game last night because I didn't have a good signal for a TV. But buckyball got royally screwed last night, and they got to do something about that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it.
Well, I'll
Brett.
tell you this. If I would have told you, if you go to ESPN.com at 9:40 a.m. Central Time on Friday, March 22nd, and the second lead story is something about Samford, something went really, really, really good for Samford, right? Because that is the top stories outside of them bombarding you with their women's tournament challenge where brackets are open. Fill out your bracket right now.
Yeah.
Trust me, put all 1 seeds in it.
It's a little different now. There's some.
I smell a steak bat.
Some variety, but
I don't know who they are. I will go 3 1 seeds or more to make the Final Four for a steak right now.
I don't know who they are, but
I have
you said
no idea.
all 1 seeds. I would go.
I would go 3.
I would go. Not all 4 would make it.
All right, 3's a heavy number, isn't it?
Oh, that's a lot of 1 seeds.
It is.
I don't know who the ones are. South Carolina's got to be.
I have a feeling Iowa's a 2.
I don't know. I really don't know.
The mighty Caitlin Clark.
I mean, brackets are open.
Yeah. Only
Here,
for,
I'll look. You don't look.
Only for 49 more minutes.
Is that what it is?
Is that when it tips?
Do they play today? I know South Carolina's a 1.
Yeah, I see it
South
now.
Carolina's, all right, South Carolina's a 1. Iowa is a 1. You were incorrect on that, Jim.
USC
is a 1, and Texas is a 1.
That leaves out LSU, Ohio State, who is pretty good. The little team we like to call UConn, who used to be the automatic, remember?
Oh, man. There was a time, really, it was UConn or Field.
Wow, what seed is UConn, though? How bad have they fallen? Yeah. No, they're not even a 2.
Does it seem like Gino might be the Calipari of the women's
they're
game?
going to have to fire him.
They talk a lot like that, don't they?
UConn's a 3.
So what are you thinking, Dunaway?
UConn's a 3.
Yeah, in USC's bracket, I smell an upset right there.
USC ain't going to the Final Four.
Would you feel good about them beating UConn to go to the Final Four?
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll trust Tom, and I'll say 3, you get it, I get 2 1s.
Yep.
I'm going to trust Tom has done his women's basketball.
I mean, Dunaway, South Carolina and Iowa feel like absolute locks, don't you think?
I disagree.
You don't think so? You don't think South Carolina
To me,
Iowa
Caitlin
locks?
Clark is the best women's player I've ever seen. This just has the makings of a regional final, last-second shot, where she's pulling an Adam Morrison and just bawling her eyes out.
I cannot believe that you gripe so much about this women's tournament. It never even makes my sheet, and we spent half a segment talking about this.
Half a segment. You want me to stake bet on it?
Because now I have to tell you that Wright Thompson writes an amazing story about Caitlin Clark in Iowa when they preseason. They went over this summer and did a tour in Italy, played some games. And Caitlin Clark, they had 2 days between a game, and she told the manager, the travel manager for Iowa, I want to use some of my NIL money. Find me a yacht to rent for the team tomorrow. And they had a yacht. And
did she have a ballpark figure what that thing was going to cost? Because we've rented a pontoon boat in Orange Beach. That ain't shit, ain't cheap.
And you got to read it and read the story from Wright Thompson. And the best part of it is he talks about 20 years from now, they'll remember Caitlin Clark and the team and how the chaos around her and the crowds and everything. But for one day on the crystal blue waters off the coast of Italy, it was all about scuba diving and frolicking in the clear blue water, diving off of that.
Well, good for her, man.
When 18 to 22-year-olds had no worries in the world.
I mean, honestly, she's the most exciting thing to happen to Iowa sports. Maybe ever. I don't know.
It's a very low bar.
Very
low bar.
But
ever since Caden Proctor came home.
I don't know, what kind of a teammate she is. She seems like a great teammate. She seems to be pretty humble for as good as she is. So, I mean, good for her.
Do you know, this is not AtlantisLight.com, but it's so weird we're talking about this. It just popped up on my Twitter feed. Do you know the point spread to the South Carolina game today?
Who are they playing?
This is an NCAA tournament team.
I know they're not playing Longwood.
They're playing Presbyterian.
I will put the number, and I haven't watched Presbyterian women this year, 56.5.
I won't say they'll go that high.
You're so good at this. 55.5.
Are you serious?
I mean, that's an NCAA tournament line. 55.5.
That's like one of McNeese's men's schedule teams, Bible studies.
Yeah, Bible Studies University.
Didn't work out for them. Tell us about Rump Shaker, and then we'll get back to the men's game, LT, if you don't mind. Unless you have more women's thoughts.
No, I got it. I mean, AM golfer. I never watched women's hoops. Yes, I'm an expert. Look, I didn't say I was an expert at all. I just think it's It's pretty predictable. It is the most top-heavy sport in all of sports right now. But the Rump Shaker is coming up tomorrow. Hopefully you're registered for that. Very important event right here in Birmingham. It is the 16th annual Rump Shaker 5K tomorrow at Regents Field. To get registered, go to rumpshakerinc.org. Remember this, colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America. It affects men and women equally. If you're 45 or older, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, it's treatable, it's beatable. Early detection is the key. For more information and to get registered for tomorrow's 5K, the Rump Shaker, go to rumpshakerinc.org.
Hey, before you get too far from Kentucky and Oakland, can I give you one more stat?
Yes.
And I saw it last night, and I meant to save it, and thank goodness little T's on it because she just texted it to me. Jack Golke, the Oakland Star this year. Have y'all seen this stat?
I don't know what the stat is yet, but I know he played 5 years at Division II Hillsdale,
right,
who is covered by our friend Katie Galuli, who works out of Indianapolis for whatever that conference she's in. That's where he was a star.
From the field this year, he's had 355 attempts, counting last night. 355 attempts from the field. How many of them do you think are threes?
The 355.
355 from the field.
If it's enough for little T at 7:45 Pacific time,
I think it's in the 320s. I would go 323
I'm gonna go north of 300.
347. He's attempted 8 2-pointers at 347.
Well, guess what? He didn't attempt last night. A 2-pointer.
He plays basketball like I do. He stands out here and he's like,
he's a chucker. That's all he is a chucker. And he knows it. I mean, like Lance said, he knows he ain't going to play in the NBA.
I would love, though,
the
to
guy's
see.
a traffic cone on defense.
By the way, you guys probably saw this. I'm looking at it right now. A double-digit seed is once again going to be in the Sweet 16. We've got NC State and Oakland. This NC State team, much like Duquesne, I'm just going to stop doubting them and see where they land in these brackets. But Oakland, for him to get off 23s last night against Kentucky, that is a joke.
It's embarrassing.
And he was at Hillsdale, which, by the way, is way off the beaten path.
Oh, you think?
Of the main basketball world.
Was it Hillsdale, the neighborhood in Back to the Future?
Hill Valley.
Hill Valley. Okay.
And he was able to, as he was walking off the microphone, said, "We're not a Cinderella," and walk off.
He grabbed it and said it, too. Did you see that?
We're not a Cinderella. Yeah. When we come back, I promise you we'll set the table for UAB. They got the first game out, and then we'll talk to Fuhrman at the top of the hour. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Betting lines that I have loosely from MyBookie on this game here, if they haven't moved, Alabama's minus 9.5 tonight against Charleston. Auburn's 12.5 today, favored against Yale, and UAB a 6.5-point underdog. We'll talk about the Blazers when we come back. Tell us about MyBookie. Brownie.
You can play all those games Jimmy Dunaway just mentioned right there at mybookie.ag. Make sure you use code NEXTROUND when you sign on at mybookie.ag. I know it is closed, but we certainly appreciate them sponsoring the bracket, powering our bracket challenge. So many of you took advantage of that, and we greatly appreciate it. UAB, it has ticked down a little bit. They're a 6.5-point dog. As Dunaway said, Auburn still at 12.5. Alabama still at 9.5. Play all those games at mybookie.ag, and the rest of the tournament you can as well. NBA, Major League Baseball, everything. mybookie.ag, and don't forget code NEXTROUND when you sign on to mybookie.ag to get that great discount or get that great introductory offer, and you can use it, the bonus, and use it right away when once it is yours and yours forever. mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
You have all heard of Red Wing Shoes, but what is Red Wing Shoes? It's the place where men buy boots, plain and simple. Who are Red Wing's customers? They are construction workers, warehouse employees, college students, the guy that fixes your AC, the guy at the end of the bar, the IT guy. Red Wing is a father, Red Wing is a son, Red Wing is a cult following shared by all men. A classic, comfortable pair of cool boots with a story to tell. What's your Red Wing story? Red Wing Shoe Stores, located in Pelham and Trussville.
It's that time of year. Hoops, hops, and wings with our friends at Walk-Ons. We're talking about the unbelievable madness of the best viewing and the best food in town.
This tournament season, try any of the 3 local walk-ons in Trussville, Stadium Trace in Hoover, and also the Greystone location. A wonderful menu with original food, great drinks, but most importantly in tournament season, TVs everywhere, so you can keep up with how your bracket's burning.
Your home for all the tournament action is Walk-On Sports Bistro.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Paul, here you go. Paul says I need some winners today. Here you go.
Winner, chicken dinner. Give them to me.
Here you go, Paul. I'll be Leonard's losers. I'm going to give you the losers
God,
today.
we were terrible yesterday. Now, 4-3 at Lance's lock.
Yeah.
So we did have a winning day there. But as far as brackets, I told my daughter yesterday, go 13-3. You're going to be okay day one.
What'd she do?
I don't even know what she did. I'm going to find out. But we were awful.
Yeah, we were bad.
You guys are ahead of me in the current punishment bracket challenge powered by MyBookie standings. I've only got 9 points. You guys have 11.
I don't know how.
So that means you were 11 of 16, and I was 9 of something. There's a live look at the MyBookie bracket challenge. On top of it is Reed Taylor. Does he work here, Reed? See, how's he in there? Rockstar is right there. Rocky. Chalk is always good for you.
Oh, no, it's chalk. I just pick. There's no thought into it.
It's crazy how well Rockstar does in this thing.
Yeah, I know.
I put no thought into it.
Chalk is good when your picks and your skin color. It works out really good for you.
Oh, wow.
You just don't want to be outlined in it.
Yeah.
EG slides in tied there behind the leaders with Forrester, LT, Ryan Brown. Then to the tenors. That is, I have Merch Madness. I assume that is Little Tyler. And then Little T with 10 as well. There's Jim Dunaway at 9. I'm solo in that position, correct? Yeah. And then some 8s with Lunsford and Tim Melton. And then I think Kelsey forgot to finish the rest of her bracket.
What are pivotal games for us today?
I've got that, LT.
Okay,
after
cool.
you tell us about our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
The New York Butcher Shop, how about this? When I left Odie's last night, went to see our friend Jim, picked up some fillets, did them on the cast iron skillet. They were almost rare. Like rare plus, but they were fantastic. He dusted them up for me. We got some of those baked potatoes on the side.
Fillets for everybody? Everybody got fillets?
Everybody got fillets last night. And you can check and see how I did on the fillet last night. But everybody ate them, rare plus.
I'll ask some of your invited guests.
Just fantastic. I invited him, didn't I?
He did. He did, but it was not the invite he wanted, so he said no to it.
It wasn't invite like the other invite was.
It wasn't printed.
The other was a birthday invite.
Yeah.
I had a birthday in December.
Yeah, well, I mean, Brown's got one coming up this month, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Rockstars, everybody's got birthdays.
It's okay. She deserves it.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop. Pick up the finest and certified Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all natural chicken cut to order just for you with a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Cabo Heights, Highway 119, New York Butcher Shop, rare quality. Well done, sir.
Upset alerts, according to the national folks today, not LT, the national folks. Clemson.
Yeah.
By the way, if Clemson loses, that would be all 6 seeds losing.
Only a seeding upset. New Mexico's the favorite in this game.
That's
to your
right.
point, New Mexico's 2.5 point favorite.
But you're
at my
saying
bookie.
that the upset, everybody is picking New Mexico is what you're saying.
Yeah, these are the losers. I'm giving you the losers. And then according to the national media, and this is a conglomerate of the Athletic, Bleacher Report, and Yahoo, and I sort of combined there's what like parts they had. They all had Clemson losing. They all have St. Mary's losing.
I've got that one too. St. Mary's a 5.5 point favorite at mybookie.ag.
They all have Wisconsin losing. And they all have San Diego State losing to UAB.
Interesting.
I don't see any of those happening.
But it's crept down, Lance. I mean, that point spread is down to 6.5.
Look, and UAB's been good against the number. I ended up staying away from that game. I thought about playing the Aztecs, but I want to pull for Andy and the guys. But UAB 20-12 against the number this year. San Diego State only 13-18. Remember, the Aztecs were a 5 seed last year when they played for the national championship. I still don't get the New Mexico love. P.J. Hall for Clemson is a loaded 6'10". If he can stay out of foul trouble, I think Clemson wins and advances. I've actually got him in the Sweet 16.
It's one of the weirdest teams I've seen become a darling in this tournament before a game's even played. It's not like they won and you're like, God, I love the way that team played.
No, there's
like
an
Oakland.
algorithm somewhere. You made that point the other day.
Yeah, and I'll ask Fuhrman when he comes on, is there something we don't know under the surface about New Mexico?
Rockstar Gimme Cut 5, Andy Kennedy, which we're getting to right here, setting up the 12:45 tip. Now think about this.
Okay.
12:45 tip for us today. 1:45 Eastern. It's 10. This is the first game Little T is going to. It is 10:45 Spokane tip time.
Right.
It is 12:45 body clock for UAB.
A lot of numbers here.
But it's 10:45 body clock for San Diego State.
That is correct.
This is the earliest tip San Diego State's had all season long.
Is this your body clock game of the year?
This is my body clock game of the year. Here's Andy Kennedy.
Excited to be here. Excited for my team, who have certainly earned their way. I don't like that term, bid stealing. We didn't steal anything. We earned our way here through the play of our guys. So really excited for them and for the opportunity that this tournament presents.
A little hot on the speakers. Yeah. I like that attitude, though. We didn't steal a bid. We earned our place
They
here.
did.
Yeah. I mean, they were a top 4 seed in the conference.
They did, and much like I said, and I was wrong on this, Sanford either wins the game or Kansas wins by double digits.
Yes.
I think either San Diego State wins by double digits or UAB wins this game. I mean, if UAB plays like they played in the American tournament, they've got an outstanding shot of beating a San Diego State team that is 8-7 in their last 15 games. This is not a great team. Ledee is a really good player. He's a third-team All-American. He is going to be a low down low, but I brought this up on the Odie show last night. He was just a contributor off the bench last year when they played for the national championship. They lost a ton of talent.
Their seeding, probably more of reputation of what they did last year than anything else. Here are the games that matter to us in our bracket challenge today, and you can sort of roll however you feel like who's on the right side of these here. For Ryan Brown, he's got Texas A&M by himself today. LT and I have Nebraska.
Okay.
Ryan Brown has Grand Canyon. LT and I have St. Mary's. We each got 2, by the way, that are different than everyone else. LT has not buying into everyone else. He's got Clemson. You and I are on the algorithm game of the year in New Mexico.
I regret that pick the more I've seen it. I'd like to be on Clemson.
LT also has Utah State, and Brownie and I have TCU. So those are the makeup games. And then I've got 2. You both like Northwestern. I've got Florida Atlantic.
Like is a strong term.
Yeah, you guys have Northwestern. I have Florida Atlantic.
That's another line we got to talk to Fuhrman about. It's up to 4.5. It's a big line for an 8-9 game.
Yeah. Next segment, Fuhrman joins us. And then both of you have Wisconsin, who somebody is calling a lock over there. I'm riding with James Madison. I don't regret my Samford pick last night. I'll take that L. That was a heck of a run. I'll take the L in our bracket. But I'm going to ride with James Madison today.
One of our big plays at Lance's Light was Gonzaga against McNeese, and that was a dick whipping. And much like that 5-12 matchup, if Wisconsin hits their threes today, it will be the exact same thing against
I never bought into McNeese.
I'm riding with James Madison, and that's my plays today. And opposite of me trailing these guys in the bracket challenge, we'll talk to Todd Fuhrman about the X's and O's of the games going on. But Brownie, if you will,
yes, Jim.
Would you stand up and hand me the spicy side of life?
You want the Coca-Cola Spice?
The Coca-Cola Spice.
Jim, it'd be my honor.
Tight shot on Brown's trip to the cooler here, if we can. The journey over. spiced Coca-Cola. Hey, it's got a hint of raspberry and some other spicy flavors to make it taste like spring. Officially spring now on the calendar.
I can pass it down.
Thank
there.
you. So, it's a team
It's the
effort
old
now.
bar.
Oh, and look at the logo up.
Wow.
LT. That's not
We've
your
done
first-
this. We've
not
done
your-
this before.
Coca-Cola Spice. Try it at your local retailer. It tastes like spring and summer. Give it a shot. It's new in the Coca-Cola family. Coca-Cola Spice. Todd Fuhrman from the desert is up next.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Todd Fuhrman coming up here momentarily. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at JohnstonRVCenter.com. Johnston RV getting you on the road.
They are. They will be with us over at Talladega Super Speedway. We're going to have some fun with them. They have repriced everything on their lot, and they are so confident their prices are the best anywhere in the country. They will beat any price you bring to them on a comparable RV. That is a nationwide price guarantee at Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. You bring them a lower price, they'll beat it. Also, everything they got that is new and under 2 years of age used, covered by RV warranty forever, a lifetime warranty. Johnston RV Center, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com. On the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, you find Todd Fuhrman. Bet the Board Podcast, at Todd Fuhrman on Twitter, bettheboardpodcast.com. and he joins us every week. And boy, do we have a lot to cover with you today, Fuhrman. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing very well this morning, gentlemen. Hopefully you guys are as well. A big day for the state of Alabama in the NCAA tournament, and lovely that all those games will take place in the hotbed of college hoops in Eastern Washington and Spokane.
Absolutely. It's about as far from Birmingham as you could get. Well, let's start there. I mean, I guess we could just quickly go in order with those games. Let's start with UAB. That number's ticked down a little bit with UAB and San Diego State. What do you see there?
It has, and it's very real professional money that has come in on the Blazers in this spot. When you look at what Coach Andy Kennedy has done, outstanding coaching, getting this team over the hump with the big win against Temple in the AAC championship. And you go through some of the metrics for UAB. Defensively, not going to wow anybody outside the top 200 with overall defensive efficiency numbers, but offensively, this team gets to the free throw line as well as almost any team in the country. And against San Diego State, who wants to be physical, you'll hope that there's a quick whistle that UAB can benefit from immensely. The big question mark for the Blazers, if they're going to be able to pull off the outright upset, is can they slow down Jaden Ledee? He's the primary scorer for the Aztecs. Coach Brian Dutcher does everything he can to feed him the ball in the post. Ledee has added a deep shot to his arsenal as well. But I just think there are a number of different ways that UAB can go about their business that San Diego State necessarily can. We've seen the Mountain West flounder already so far in the Big Dance as they go through prolonged scoring droughts. They're not necessarily used to dealing with extremely athletic lineups that'll come after them. And I think UAB has thrived all season long as an underdog. No reason to believe that changes today. I like UAB plus a 7 in a spot.
I'm going to go out of order time-wise for a reason, but let's talk about Alabama and Charleston. Bama about a 9.5-point favorite.
When you look at this Charleston team, I think they're interesting because they're going to be more than comfortable trying to match Alabama in tempo. They're not going to be intimidated in that regard, and they can shoot the ball exceptionally well, making the NCAA tournament for back-to-back years, coming up just short last year against San Diego State, who went on to be the runner-up, of course, coming up just short against UConn. You look at what Pat Kelsey has done. I mean, he guided Winthrop to a mark of 23-2 at a berth in the NCAA tournament when he was there. So there's a little bit of coaching pedigree as well. I mean, this group averaging nearly 80 points per game since Kelsey took over the program, highest of any team in their conference. From a win-loss standpoint, 58-11 since the beginning of last year, tied for the fourth most wins of anyone in D1. And with Alabama, if those shots aren't falling, do they have a secondary pitch? You know that's the thing that I've been most critical of the style that Nate Oats wants to play, because as we've seen in March, you know, it's great when the shots are going down, but just ask the Wildcats when you can't get a stop at a key juncture in the game. Look, Alabama can run away and hide from absolutely anybody in the country, but I think this one will be tight throughout. It's the largest total that we've seen of the round. 171 is where it opened, out to 173.5. And I actually lean Charleston plus the points. I think they'll be more than comfortable to turn this thing into a track meet.
Okay, there's one more state team still alive we have not asked about. I am going to cede the floor to the person, Fuhrman, on this dais that has selected this particular team to win the national championship.
That is me, Fuhrman. Hello, I'm Jim Dunaway from the fine state of Alabama.
Dunaway, are you allowed to do this? Don't Auburn fans get mad at you when you make these bold proclamations?
They do.
Yes, you should have seen it.
They do. But I covered this team at the SEC championship in Nashville and just fell in love with the personalities inside the locker room. And I think them and UConn are the best two teams in the brackets, and they're going to play each other in the Sweet 16. And I saw it as, how do you say it, a big upside. If I had Auburn winning that game, then I could dominate the bracket. So I've got Auburn going all the way. Let's start with the first step, Yale. Can Yale give Auburn any problems today?
I think they can, but I'm not sure that Yale will have enough to pull off the outright upset. I can tell you I've seen real sharp money that I respect coming in on the Bulldogs in the first half more so than the full game. And I think when you look at this, it could take on a similar tenor to what we saw yesterday between Illinois and Morehead State, where a team coming in fresh off of a conference championship, winning the conference tournament, playing a lot of games in a very short period of time, looks to be a little bit flat against an inferior opponent, then ultimately can lean on those athletes and the pedigree to find some separation. So I think this could follow a very similar storyline against the Yale team, who quite frankly isn't as good as some of the previous automatic qualifiers that we've seen from the Ivy League in recent years. I mean, Princeton kind of fit that bill, but we saw the Tigers go down against Brown, and Yale pretty fortunate that Brown couldn't throw the ball in the ocean from the free throw line in the final few seconds of that game. But you look at this Yale roster, and they have a couple of players that are interesting to watch. I mean, Danny Wolf, most notably, a big man in the middle that's going to try and eat up a lot of that rebound equity that's out there, going to try and be a double-double guy. Now, he's not used to seeing the kind of players that Auburn will throw at him in this spot in a night-in, night-out basis in the Ivy League. But I do worry a little bit about Auburn coming out guns a-blazing in the first half. So I think if they're sluggish, you could capitalize with Yale plus the 7, plus the 7.5. But Auburn too much, too late to be an upset victim like their SEC brethren in Kentucky.
Fuhrman, I give Little Patino a lot of credit last weekend in your backyard. That was a gritty performance winning the Mountain West. If they don't win the Mountain West, there's a good chance, especially if they lose on Saturday, they're not even in this tournament. Now everyone is just licking the Wolves up and down. They are minus 2.5 in this spot against Clemson. I'm personally backing the Tigers. What is going on with New Mexico? We were talking about there's got to be something in their analytics because not only do people have them advancing here, there are people that have the Lobos in the Final Four.
Well, here's what's interesting. I think the Lobos have a much more favorable matchup next round when they take on the winner of the Texas A&M Nebraska game, if they get through Clemson today, because styles makes fights in the NCAA tournament, and these two teams want to attack you in very different ways. Clemson wants to turn into a half-court affair, really shorten the game and grind out possessions, where New Mexico is more than happy to lean on Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn, and Donovan Dent to kind of go out there, push pace, push tempo, as we've seen from those Patino bloodlines. I mean, this is a group that's 39th in adjusted offensive efficiency this season. From a three-point attempt standpoint, I mean, they're going to throw a ton of shots at the rim, and it'll be interesting to see if Brad Brownell's bunch can do enough to bounce back after a embarrassing loss against Boston College that had them bow out rather early in the ACC tournament. But I'm not sure New Mexico will have enough in the interior to slow down P.J. Hall. I mean, this is a guy, one of 5 major conference players with 600-plus points and 200-plus rebounds this season, who is going to be an absolute load in the middle. And if Clemson can impose their will physically and turn this game into a little bit more of a half-court affair, I think they're an extremely live underdog. But you will hear up until tip-off of this game at 3:10 Eastern about how 11 seeds have had their way, especially 11 seeds that are favored. For me, 3 was going to be my buy point on Clemson. I don't think I'm going to get there, so I'll instead look for a live angle to be able to back the Tigers against the White-Hot Lobos.
Massive injury in the SEC championship game for Florida. I still have them advancing fairly deep in this tournament, but a tricky first game. How does a injury impact the Gators, and what do you think of this Gator team?
Florida is interesting for me. You mentioned the injury, and it's, of course, always a concern when you don't have your full complement of weapons in a game like this. And actually, as we're talking right now, you're starting to see some support for Colorado in the betting market. Some shops have now jumped to 0, and we're looking at Colorado, a modest 1-point favorite here. Great coaching matchup, in my opinion, between Todd Golden and Tad Boyle. We'll see exactly what Colorado has coming into this game after, needing to outlast Boise State in the first 4 game on Wednesday night. But when you look at this Gators team, look, they have a number of different players that are more than capable of going out there and being able to fill it up. But the injuries are a concern. The frenetic pace should be interesting to watch here, a top 20 team in the country when you look at them from an adjusted tempo standpoint. But I think Colorado behind KJ Simpson will have enough. And quite frankly, guys, after watching a lot of the games yesterday, I have some reservations about the SEC and want to see how the conference as a whole performs out there today against a variety of different opponents.
Well, what have you not liked about the SEC's performance, Fuhrman? Yeah. Just say it. Don't dance around here. What do you not like?
Mississippi State didn't exactly leave me brimming with confidence with their ability to fight back against Michigan State by any stretch of the imagination. And you know what? At this point, I think that's more the norm that we've expected from Kentucky and some of their early flameouts. But the thing that was most troubling, honestly, for Kentucky in that game, it just looked like every player got tight the final 5 to 6 minutes. And when you watch the body language out there, it felt like Oakland was the double-digit favorite that maintained their composure, still continued to run their offense. And it's a credit to Greg Kampe getting that program a win. And we'll see if Kentucky can pony up the, $33 million I think it'll take to buy out Coach Cal after 2 early tournament losses to double-digit seeds that we've seen this year. And that, of course, we saw 2 years ago with the outlier being Kentucky winning their opener and bowing out before the Sweet 16 last season.
McNeese was one of those trendy 12s, and the Zags destroyed him yesterday. I said this. I think Wisconsin is rounding into a really good team. If they hit their perimeter shots, I think Wisconsin, James Madison plays out like Gonzaga and McNeese did yesterday. Do you agree?
This game is a little harder handicap for me. I wasn't nearly as bullish on McNeese as a lot of people were. And I think part of it is because, I've been higher on Gonzaga, and I was itching to get a affordable price to bet Gonzaga against Kansas. when Kansas was up 20-plus against Samford. Lo and behold, Samford gets back in the game, and odds makers don't give anything away easy, as we know in this racket, with Gonzaga a 4-point favorite. I look at JMU, and what's interesting about this game is that it's rare that the double-digit seed against the 5 is going to be more athletic, but this is the Dukes that have that luxury going for them. Wisconsin shot the ball exceptionally well in the Big Ten tournament before coming up just short against the Fighting Illini. But you're right, you always do worry a little bit about the trendy underdog and how things will ultimately play out. The one thing that I'm concerned about with Wisconsin, will we get the group that we saw really struggle to close out the regular season? I mean, this was a team that lost 4 games in a row in early February, then proceeded to lose 3 out of 4 from February 17th to March 2nd. Before they ran off 3 wins. So I have some skepticism here. I do think if you like the dog, you want to grab the 5.5, do so now. I think it'll be closer to that 5 as the number will trend down. But I lean towards JMU, but has not made my card yet.
Alabama, if they are lucky enough to win tonight, would get the winner of St. Mary's and Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon's a national park, not a team that should be in the field of 32. But that point spread is skinny. What do you make of that game? It has interest for Bama fans.
Yeah, it is a beautiful national park. So if you haven't been out there, I encourage people to try and take advantage. But in your current shape, Dunaway, I would not recommend hiking to the bottom. You may not be able to hike out. We may have to extract your carcass.
Your carcass. I was there almost 1 year ago to the date, and I walked almost inside the upper rim.
Almost.
And my wife, my wife, who is 10 years younger than me, walked almost all the way to the bottom while I had a nice, comfortable lunch and a few beers sitting out on the patio with the other old folks.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's more in your wheelhouse. I'm glad that you almost got inside the outer rim. That's very, very comforting in that regard. Look, St. Mary's is a team that I am extremely high on, and I think that's the kind of opponent that Alabama does not want to see if that's who they draw in the second round, because St. Mary's is going to turn this thing into an absolute slog. I mean, when you look at pace and tempo, St. Mary's outside the top 350 in the country. I mean, they take more than 20 seconds on average per possession, and what this team does real well is defend tenaciously. Now, they do struggle a little bit from defending 3, so I think that could work in Alabama's favor, but I would like Randy Bennett's bunch there if I was able to get St. Mary's at a nice price. I don't think that's a luxury I'm going to be afforded, and quite frankly, St. Mary's is going to have their hands full against Grand Canyon. I mean, this is a team with a little bit of championship pedigree that's been to the big dance. They have a veteran roster, and I think that's one of the more fascinating matchups that'll take place on that late slate tonight between GCU and St. Mary's.
Todd Fuhrman, BetTheBoardPodcast.com. First game out of the chute, a lot of people in the chat room wanting us to ask you about this FAU Northwestern game, that they feel like this has climbed up a little higher than a normal 8-9 game would. I see it at FAU 4.5 right now.
Yeah, number has really taken off on this game. We saw FAU open as a 2-point favorite. They took money from professionals, both laying the 2 and on the money line, but now with the number ballooning out to 4.5, I think if you like the favorite, you kind of have to take the wait-and-see approach, more so than getting in with the worst number here. You will probably have a live opportunity, and when we look at FAU, I mean, this is a team that if it wasn't for that improbable run they made last year, they're probably not in the field. But I think from an athletic standpoint, this is a big-time matchup for them where they can take advantage of a Northwestern team that capitalized on a Big Ten conference that was down a little bit this year. Let's see what Aaliyah Martin and Janelle Davis can bring. But I would not be running to lay 4.5 right now with FAU here. If anything, the number continues leaking out. I think Northwestern becomes a potential live dog at 5 or better.
All right, before you go away from the NCAA tournament, you make your home in Vegas. You follow not just the point spreads, but the entire gambling industry, among other things. At Todd Fuhrman on Twitter, BetTheBoardPodcast.com. Is there anything of note to you about the Shohei Otani story? Does this bear watching in relation to his eligibility as a major league player, do you think?
Look, for me, the fact that his camp has changed tunes multiple times already, and we've all seen the interaction between Shohei Otani and his interpreter during that 2-game series in Seoul, South Korea. I know Shohei is going to be worth a hell of a lot more and already is than I ever will be in my life, but if someone's stealing $4.5 million from me, I'm not sure I'm going to be that friendly with someone in a dugout before a game. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Major League Baseball handles it, if there is a bigger investigation that takes place. The one thing, though, that, at least people in my circles have kind of told me, nothing that's taken place out here in the legal capacity. So it'll be more with some of the offshore bookmakers and all of those kind of things. So you hope for the best in this kind of situation. And I do think Major League Baseball will do everything they can to protect one of their faces but I don't think we've heard the last of this story at all,
Yeah, well,
to put it mildly.
give the Otani camp some leeway here. They've changed their story 3 times in the last 3 days, but they are breaking in a new interpreter.
It does take some time. We know the language barrier can be awfully tricky to try and go through some of that gambling parlance.
All right, he is Todd Fuhrman. We touched on a lot, but this entire tournament, bettheboardpodcast.com for his thoughts on all the games. You guys love when Fuhrman breaks it down. He gets everything at bettheboardpodcast.com. At Todd Fuhrman on Twitter. Enjoy the games today, Fuhrman. Always fun.
You got it, gentlemen. You guys do the same. I know a big trio of games for the state of Alabama. We'll see if all 3 of them can advance and move on to Sunday for a little bit more meaningful basketball.
Hey, Fuhrman, one more point that Dunaway made yesterday. We're monetarily invested in some of these games, and I never thought about this, and leave it to Dunaway to bring this up and torture me. But like last night, I had Kansas minus the points, and so when Kansas was up big, I wanted them to continue to pile it on. But then once Samford got it tight, I was pulling for Samford. But his point was because you're monetarily invested, it takes away some of the joy of pulling for the underdogs in March Madness.
It does.
Does that happen to you as well?
It's a little bit of that dynamic in play. I mean, I try and come in with full detachment. So if I don't have a bet on the game and there's a storyline that I want to follow, I think it makes for great theater. But, we're also snobs. At the end of the day, that these upsets are great on Thursday and Friday, but the deeper these Cinderella stories go, it makes it less intriguing. And I'd be lying, guys, if I said that I found last year's Final Four extremely compelling when you get the San Diego States and the Florida Atlantics that are out there. The deeper we get into the tournament, I want to see the perennial powers. I want to see the big boys. But there's no doubt watching Oakland knock off Kentucky and doing so without a fluke other than, basically throwing everything in from beyond the arc, that it's a great storyline to watch. And you want to see some of these smaller programs try and make deep runs as long as you don't have an investment against them for 40 minutes or in the big picture.
All right. Thank you, Fuhrman. Take care.
Always a pleasure, gents.
All right, bettheboardpodcast.com for Fuhrman. He was on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. I was doing that in the Kentucky game. I was like, 100 times out of 100, I'd be pulling for Oakland right here. But I got Kentucky in the Final Four. I couldn't afford that.
Can you explain your?
I mean, seriously.
Can you explain yourself on leave it to Jim to bring this up the way you say that?
Wow.
Like I say dumb things. I rarely say anything insightful.
It was very, very true. There's a lot of substance to it. I had never thought
like
about
you're
it.
saying a better way of what I just said, that I never say anything important to you?
No, I was just saying that I never thought about it with that angle.
Yeah.
And now I go into games and I'm like, I can't pull for this team to win. Now, again, I've told you guys, if it's bracket related, it doesn't matter. I was pulling against Kentucky last night. I'm just talking about when there is money involved on it.
Well, see, the bracket, I have paid these things, so I just really would like to win some. I like UConn. Dan Hurley's impossible to pull for. I got UConn, in the Final Four.
I want them to lose today.
I do too. If Auburn's playing UConn, I've picked UConn to win the game. I'm going to be pulling for Auburn.
Honest to goodness, Brownie, I really just assumed at this point, you just, on your personal calendar and the family calendar at the house, you just set a week aside for bracket punishment payoff.
I may as well.
Look, you might still win this, but these are your words. This was the first time that you tried to win the bracket.
It was. I've been trying to shoot for second all these years.
And you're 9-7.
It's a winning record, Il. Once upon a time, there was a tortoise and a hare. Do we need to go all the way to the happy ending?
Yeah. Oh, God, yes.
Wow.
Let's get there.
Show brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
Were they racing at Center Point?
Hey, a lot of things going up in price. LASIK and Michelson Laser Vision, not one of those things. Dr. Jen Michelson, Dr. Mark Michelson, they have held their pricing at pre-inflation pricing. When you call 205-969-8100, you ask for Amy, you tell her the next round sent you. Not only is she going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation, she is also going to give you that pre-inflation pricing. Make the phone call that I made more than 2 decades ago. I've still got the 2015 vision, better than 2020. 205-969-8100 for more information. MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Nicholas says, dang, Dunaway, I thought you only missed one game.
Nope.
Oh, no. I had BYU, loser. I had Drake, a loser. I had Nevada, who got outscored 22-2 to end the game. I had some tough losses yesterday.
That was, and we hadn't talked enough about that, Steve Alford having the complete meltdown for the Wolfpack yesterday. That is unacceptable as well. That game was over.
22-2 run.
Yeah, or it was 23-2, I think.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's hard to give one of those up any time of the year. It's almost impossible in the NCAA tournament.
That's how I lost that one.
Well, and against light competition, this is not.
That was not a
Kentucky
116.
coming back from 22-2 run to close out a game.
I mean, I lost Kentucky. I was on Samford. I thought Samford was going to win the game, so I wasn't playing there. And I thought Colorado State would take Texas down, but Texas played really well.
Oh, look, we were dogging out Rodney Terry last night, and they go out and, they've got athletes. They've got players. They played up to their ability last night, and that game was never in doubt against Colorado State. Who do you think our listeners and viewers are pulling for to lose this just based on the challenge they want to see the most? Because yours is by far the most difficult.
I mean, everybody agrees I've got the most difficult
But I don't know if people
challenge.
want to watch you chained to a man for 24 hours.
I've got to be handcuffed. People were asking in the chat room, I forgot what's Brown's punishment. For 24 hours, I've got to be handcuffed to a member of the audience that has already been selected and stay here for 24 hours. I cannot leave this suite for 24 hours except to go to the restroom.
But you guys are friends, and
y'all
go to church together. It's not a stranger.
It's not. I would not. I mean, I love my wife more than anybody in this world. I don't want to be handcuffed to her for 24 hours.
Yeah, but the more amazing thing
don't say what you're
is
thinking.
that he agreed to do this.
Yeah, I know. Very quickly, from what I'm told.
Yeah.
I think content. Well, I don't know. I think they're all great content-wise. That's what I like about what our staff did is they picked really good content ones because the video of Dunaway trying to get into 5 gyms and hit a 3. Especially, I was thinking about this if you try to do a lot of it during our show, so whoever is with you could go live.
I agree with Chris, though. If Jim doesn't cheat and call ahead, I'd like to see Jim's. I think
Jim has a huge history of cheating.
I'm not saying that. I don't think he's saying that. I told you the other day, without cheating, to me, it's nearly impossible. Because you get to that final gym and you can't get in, and then the next one's 2 or 3 hours away, and then you've got to reset everything for the next day.
It's like Smokey and the Bandit. It's a long way to go, short time to get there.
And by the way, in the off season, you walk into some of these places like Coleman Coliseum, they might not even have the rims up.
Or they got a kids camp going on. There's like 7,000 kids there. You're just bombing threes.
I'd take my shot at kids camp.
I know.
The idea was, I think, if say Taylor goes with you, that we Zoom call the first one because the first one is going to be because you don't know how you got to get into a pattern.
Right.
So that first one of you walking up,
she's got to be live as they're trying to get in the building. Yeah,
and we'll just watch it.
But if I don't call it, but if security is coming to shut me down, I can say, hey, I just need to hit a 3. I'm paying off a bet.
But at least you're going
to do it.
You're going to be dressed normally, right?
Well, we haven't heard about that part.
Well, it's not going to be like a thong or anything.
Yeah, I mean that needs
headband.
That's going to be
headband, knee socks.
Still be.
It's already a red flag when you're walking in on campus into a gym. But when they've got you wearing something outlandish,
it can't be too outlandish because I have not signed off on that yet.
When Dunaway gets the baby powder and throws it up in the air before.
He's got the was it the rainbow wig that people used to wear to games?
The John 316 guy.
Yeah, I'm not going to be arrested as a terrorist. I promise you that. Our friends at Precision Sports, they want to get you back in the game. These are great folks. LT and I both have used them. At some point, Brown's going to injure something. He's going to use them.
Wow.
Precision. I mean, he is.
A witch doctor.
Call out right there.
He's going to injure something at some point.
He's got that voodoo
I mean,
doll.
the guy's not that good of an athlete. He's going to tweak something.
Wait, can we see the picture, Forster?
Yeah, I mean, what me dribbling to the basket on Merch Madness? You don't think
who doesn't do this? Jack from Oakland.
Yeah, you don't
watch this movie. He's putting the shoulder down.
I am inside the 3-point arc, Lance. I can't be that kid from Oakland. He never gets inside.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have got much more athleticism than Jack.
No doubt.
He's 2 more of those cuts in our Merch Madness promo away from blowing out a knee or popping an Achilles. Give him 2 more years. He'll need our friends at Precision Sports. Precision Sports, medicine and orthopedics, they will get you back in the game. Orthopedic care is better together. You tweak something in pickleball, you tweak something in pickup basketball, you tweak something by punching the television when you're mad at John Calipari for busting your bracket. Anyway, they get you back in the game. 205-512-3885. 512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Programming note.
What?
4 downs coming up, but also top of the hour, we'll check in with Taylor Korn, Little T at the arena, where all 3 of our state teams will play. We'll see what Taylor's travel was like. What's it like hanging out with Nick Pringle? And also the scene. What's it like in Spokane, Washington? All that coming up at the top of the hour. That's brought to you by our friends at Autograph. All of our coverage out in Spokane is. Autograph is this wonderful app. I've got actually 3 accounts because I've got one as an Alabama, got one as an Auburn, got one right now as a Florida fan as well. You log on to the Autograph app, download it from the App Store, and put in promo code TNR, and it feeds your timeline with all your favorite team. Today I'm logged in as an Auburn fan right here, and you can click on podcasts and see great podcasts. You can listen to them there. You can sit here and go to the fan zone. You can get score updates. You can go to a community there and make comments and just have a news feed that's going that'll feed all the best stories, the top listens, and even post-game news conferences in some cases. It's the Autograph app, QR code on the screen. The promo code is TNR. It is free. Email address TNR, and then pick your favorite team, and you are set with our friends at Autograph.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th Annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Dun, 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 dun. Matt says, Dunaway, why do you have 3 accounts? When I set up, I could select multiple teams.
Yeah, that's a good
well,
question.
Matt, because I'm not as smart as you, Matt. I could never figure it out when I first logged on.
I set up an email account just for me and Lance, an email account just for Brown and I to communicate.
No, I didn't download it until I was at the SEC championship tournament last week in Nashville, and I did Alabama first, full disclosure, and then I was going to add the other SEC teams. But when I added Auburn, where I thought I was adding Auburn, then I only Auburn stuff went to my feed. And then I switched it back to Alabama. It was Alabama stuff. And I couldn't figure out how to add multiple teams. And so I was like, well, God, I guess one of the flaws of the app is I've got to have a different account for a different team.
There are no flaws to this app.
I know. And so then
that was
just now, Matt said, after I created 3, Matt says, I've got 3 accounts. And that's how I went and I was like, well, I'll try to add another team. And I was like, oh, I can add more teams.
I still don't understand
it was a user error, Matt. That's why.
You keep up with all of the notifications you get. You get more notifications than anyone I know.
Yeah, I shared a couple of phone numbers for Taylor on her trip just so that she is out there in Spokane, that if she needs contacts with Alabama, Auburn, and UAB folks, that she's got all the pertinent numbers, coaches, and SID people, travel
Bruce
people.
Pearl, Nate Oats,
So I shared all those numbers, and she was like, now I've got Andy Burcham's birthday in my calendar.
Bastard.
It's probably the day before, actually.
Not Andy, you.
Actually, you've got the day before it.
No, the alert is set. It does come one day
24
before.
hours, and you assume that's the birthday.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas on the 24th today.
24 hours before Andy Burcham. I don't know how many other birthdays she got, but that was the first one. She's like, all these things you've shared with me, I now have all their birthdays in my calendar.
I do need to figure out how to put the birthdays in there.
And I'm like, I can't figure out how not to have them.
Not everyone's.
I was like,
that's the problem. I just want like 15.
So I had to tell Taylor the third time I was trying to explain to her the difference between Central Time Zone and Pacific Time Zone. During that third conversation, I was like, which apparently I guess they don't teach in school anymore, time zones.
So she didn't know time zones?
She was a little confused on time zones.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Am I 2 hours ahead or am I 2 hours
I can just say,
behind?
if you are touching the Pacific coast, it is Pacific time.
That screws a lot of people up, though. I have to deal with it all the time. So
that's interesting because the only thing that I think is when you get mountain time gets a little confusing, and then sometimes when you're hitting kind of the Georgia, Alabama, Eastern, Central.
In fairness to her, most of the time we were talking about time zones, she was in her travel, right? Once she got to Spokane, and I was like, is it still sunny there? And she's like, yeah. And I said, Stark here. And once you get, okay, I get it now. I mean, it's easy at that point.
One of the greatest,
One
of the greatest parts about the smartphone is it adjusts for time zone and adjusts for daylight savings. So you never have to go set the clock on that deal.
That's right.
You know, Troy, earlier in the chat room, when we talked about this a little bit in our specialty show last night from Oddities, the YouTube quad box has been incredible. When I got rid of DirecTV, I was scared because I never liked DirecTV, the customer service. But the one thing I knew is how organized it was going to be on all the league passes and everything. But this quad box is next level, and it is going to be incredible for football season. I can't wait. But it's been great yesterday. It'll be great today. Because you put the 4 up, and then, I've got them on multiple TVs, but if a game's getting good, you just pop that game, and it pops it up on the big.
So is it like we've got some guests?
Hey,
is it
Brian?
Is it like the Sunday ticket where it gives me my choices of quad boxes, or can I be? Well, there's only 4 games going on.
But now it does. So right now it's just college basketball games, NBA games.
Right.
You've got the NBA ticket, that kind of stuff. It doesn't allow you yet to mix college and the NBA. Like the other day there was an important baseball game I wanted to watch. I forget which college game. Last night, at one point, there was 3 games going on, and Auburn and Arkansas was going on. I wanted to go 3 basketball in Auburn and Arkansas. You can't do that yet. Show being brought to you.
They'll get to that, though.
Eventually. Show being brought to you in part today by Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City. All Greg from Pell City will do is the most amazing thing on your roof is he'll get up there, because you don't want to get up there, and he'll check out your roof, and he'll do it for free. A free, no cost, no obligation roof inspection. Greg from Pell City, there he is right there. Family members, son-in-law, and the guy who's dating one of his daughters, now on the team as well, and they are trained to head up their own crews. So it's all locally owned for over 20 years. You can't beat that. They're A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. You can't beat that. He'll do storm damage correction, replacement, repairs. He'll replace a aged-out roof, and he'll give you that free no-cost roof inspection, because some of you don't know what's going on up on your roof, and I don't blame you. I have never been on my roof either. He'll get up there for you. It's all right there. Storm Restoration Roofing. The number's 542-3531, or look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City, Storm Restoration Roofing. All right, we'll get to 4 downs in just a second, but one note away from the games on the court, but to the bracket, there is only 0.00038% perfect brackets after one day. Way less than 1% of the brackets are still perfect.
Duquesne's one thing, and I know a couple of people that had Duquesne. Maddie had Duquesne, but who had Oakland?
Yeah, well, and in that one region right there, you've got Oakland.
Who? I got somebody.
Who?
Forrester, who is the one of the perfect brackets still out there? You guys all know him. Who is it?
That is the Atlanta Falcons, Bijan Robinson.
Oh,
16 for 16 yesterday. What's the problem, though, Forrester?
He ain't got a quarterback.
He does now.
He does now.
It's his cousins.
Yeah.
But he's got the Longhorns winning it all.
He doesn't. He's got Texas winning it all. Still alive, though.
Still alive. And if they play like they played last night, they have a shot to do a little damage.
Yeah, his Final Four is UConn, Baylor, Houston, and Texas, and then he has Texas beating UConn.
Very Texas-oriented there.
Yeah, well, that's home for him. But way to go, Bijan. Still perfect, but more than I can say, my 9-7 record. Let's do 4 downs, brought to you by the great folks at Slice. Slice Pizza, perfect for lunch or dinner if you're watching the brackets or if you're on your way to the Zach Bryan concert tonight.
We were in Edgewood yesterday at Oddities, and I parked right in front of the new Slice, and they were doing a soft opening yesterday. So it should be open next week. We will confirm that, but that is their 5th location, the original in Lakeview, One of Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, local pizza, local ingredients. Get in, see the Bajalia brothers. The late Jeff created this great legacy. His brothers continue it. Chris, Jason, make sure you stop in and see them. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Brown, you're going to love this. It's all birthdays.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of 4 downs.
Matthew Modine, 56 years old. Better movie, Pacific Heights, Vision Quest, or Dealer's Choice?
I really enjoyed. I never saw Dealer's Choice.
No, I was throwing it to you guys.
Oh, okay. I enjoyed. I thought it was another Matthew.
Joe, Lance, I see fine. I don't need a Vision Quest. All right.
Vision Quest, I enjoyed the heck out of. And ironically, for those that don't remember, it was the Thompson Warriors versus the Pelham Panthers in that.
He was wrestling Shoop, or he was trying to get down in weight to wrestle Shoop.
I've never seen either. So
I think they call them the Hoover Panthers.
Both are really good. So he's good in Pacific Heights. I mean, Michael Keaton plays a great criminal in Pacific Heights.
Yeah, I love that movie too.
And I thought Vision Quest, I never wrestled, but I thought it was a really good movie, good soundtrack.
I've actually thought this is maybe an interesting addition to my punishment. I got to be up here 24 hours, and I imagine I'm going to sleep a lot. I would like for Lance to select flight of movies for me to watch that I've never seen.
We got to have the acceptance of your partner too.
I kind of know like she doesn't want too dark. I know what you guys want.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You just if you'll select, I'll sit here and watch them because I don't think I'm going to sleep.
You guys would like Pacific Heights.
Okay.
Oh, I've seen that one. I loved it.
What's interesting is how they out of nowhere he got casted in Stranger Things. Like he just came out of nowhere.
Was he the?
And he was pretty good in that.
Yeah.
Was he the? Was he a doctor in some movie with? Was he a doctor with Alec Baldwin? Was he a part of that doctor movie where his dad malpracticed?
It's called Malice.
Malice.
Yeah, with Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
And the twist in the middle, like you think that Nicole Kidman's got no relationship with Alec Baldwin. The next thing you know, she skins off.
Yeah.
Second down.
Did he sing in the Bodines? Matthew?
No, he didn't. That's a common misconception.
By the way, do you know the title track of Vision Quest? It's got a really good soundtrack.
Double Vision Foreigner.
Lunatic Fringe.
Red Rider.
Red Rider. Good tune.
They wrote Life is a Highway.
William Shatner is 93 years old. The guy, I mean, for 93, still does things and still kind of active. But if I asked you, are you more Star Trek or Star Wars?
This is good.
You got to be one of the two.
Neither would be my answer. I've seen more of Star Wars than Star Trek.
These woods are all stars.
I don't know.
Just the opposite. I've seen more of Star Trek than Star Wars.
I remember Star Trek, the TV series. I don't think I've ever seen the movie.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I've never seen all the original 3 Star Wars. I've seen bits and pieces of all of them. I've never sat and watched all of them in their entirety.
Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor.
Yeah, I've only watched the 3, and I'm like you. I watched Captain Kirk, William Shatner back in the day as a kid, but. I would go Star Wars.
Yeah, I think I'll go Star Wars. It's the one I've seen the most of.
I've seen Star Trek the most, but I never loved it.
Yeah, if I don't see either one of them again, I'm just fine.
I was more lost in space.
Yeah, a lot.
Third down.
Is that the Sleestacks Lost in Space?
No,
that's Land Before Time.
Land Before Time.
Yeah.
So
loved that as a kid on Saturday morning.
I would have laughed asking this question maybe even a year or 2 years ago, and there will be people that probably kill me for asking this question, but Dave Portnoy is 47 today. J.J. Watt is 35. Ultimately better career. We're talking about a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year that never
Hall of Famer.
did anything in the postseason.
But he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
But Portnoy has changed media.
Oh, there's no doubt. No, it's a great question.
He didn't outshine his brother.
I enjoy.
Oh, J.J. Watt?
Yeah.
That's who's Portnoy's brother.
No, yeah. I mean, T.J. Watt is probably going to end up being the better player.
I never liked J.J. Never enjoyed watching him play or anything. I like Portnoy. I will go Portnoy. And I've worked hard to try to say his name correctly.
Yeah, that's the best you've ever done. You used to say Portnoy.
Portnoy.
I would say Portnoy is the guy. He's getting up there though with my man Floyd Mayweather though on these bets. I mean, it would be nice to be able to put $600,000 on UConn. I think he's going to lose.
But at least he shows it in advance.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
So we know when he loses or wins.
I'm talking about amounts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But at least he showed us. He only, Floyd only shows us after he's won.
Oh, yeah.
This guy at least puts it out there. He put the Michigan thing out there and reacted to me in the press box when I was like, well, you still feeling good about Michigan?
It's genius because not only is he going to do it, but it's content.
Yeah.
And it's people talking about, man, this dude's got $600,000 on UConn.
Fourth down.
Reese Witherspoon, 48 years old. If I ask you the best work for Reese Witherspoon, because I've got my hidden gem that I really enjoyed way back in the day.
Let's go ahead and say Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, somebody perked up back here.
No, I enjoy Sweet Home Alabama, but actually the HBO series that she did with, I think, Nicole Kidman and all those other girls. I don't know their names. What?
Big Little Lies.
Big Little Lies. I think she produced that.
She's a good producer. She produces a lot of stuff.
Yeah, her money's now in producing.
Crushing it. Yeah, and she's really good on the morning show. I agree with Daniel. Election is mine.
She's good on the morning show.
Tracy Flick. Have you guys seen Election?
No.
That's one on your list.
Okay, put it on there.
Because it's got the
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah,
the
Broadway play guy.
I like her as June Carter in Walk the Line, too. I
Very good.
Fantastic.
Very good.
One Best Actress.
Big Reese Witherspoon fan. Absolutely. Very good. And she's Southern. And that is our 4 downs brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, Slice, 4 locations. That soon-to-be 5th location. Edgewood should be opening up this weekend or early next week. We'll give you a confirmation on that. But don't forget about that carry-out special. You get 12 of the fire-baked wings, half pan of the salad, 2 of the specialty pizzas, only $75, 7 nights a week. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
And nothing makes food taste better than our friends with Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola Classic, Coke Zero. Is it the best Coke ever? Try it for yourself. And Diet Coke, Sprite's part of the family. And now new this year, it is Coca-Cola Spiced. You know, they started bottling Cokes back in 1894, and they could have just stuck with the original and been perfectly fine. But they continue to sort of, stretch the palate a little bit. Raspberry with spicy flavors that just tastes like summer, smells like summer. Give it a try for yourself. Coca-Cola Spiced, and let us know what you think. Back in a moment.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-patted each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Man, that's a bold question. But it's got that irresistible taste to back it up. One thing's for sure, when you've got an irresistible, tasty match like zero sugar and 0 calories, something sensational is bound to happen. It's too bad you can't taste it with your ears, because this Coke Zero Sugar tastes amazing. Truthfully, it's hard to put into words, and that's my job. You'll have to take a taste for yourself. Coke Zero Sugar. Best Coke ever?
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Back with you on the next round as we continue on today. 667, that's the show number today. We survived 666.
I don't want to tell the story on the air, but yeah.
Oh, that's right. Didn't think about that. Yeah. 155 days away from kickoff. We'll check in with Little T coming up at the top of the hour. She's in Spokane for us covering Auburn, Alabama, and UAB. UAB has the first game out of the gate today. For our state teams. They go at 12:45, but the first game on the window today is Florida Atlantic Northwestern, a skinny number there. Good 8-9 matchup, 11:15 on CBS when the coverage starts here, coming up at the top of the hour. The show being brought to you by Dr. B. In my life, there was Doc Gooden, right? Remember Doc Gooden?
Oh, yeah. 19 years old, was a phenom with the Mets.
Before that, when I was younger, one of my first baseball cards was a pitcher, I think, named Doc Ellis.
The guy that pitched a perfect game on LSD, right?
That's right.
Or no-hitter.
And then there's Doc B, who's probably done me more good than anything.
What about Doc Holliday from Tombstone?
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Dr. Beckenstein.
That was perfect.
Not only one of the best in his business, and that is nationwide, but this guy has more mafia information stored. Growing up in New York and living next door to these guys, it's just fascinating talking to him. But when I first met Dr. B almost 3 years ago when we started this venture, hair really started to thin out. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That's all I'm doing. My hair is more than doubled in thickness. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today. Tell him the next round sent you 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
Dr. J.
Dr. J was a good one. Auburn, 12.5-point favorite last I checked. Has that moved at my bookie?
It's been 12.5 all day.
They get Yale coming up just after 3 o'clock out in Spokane.
Are you worried about that game?
I am not worried about that game. Should I be worried about that game?
I don't think you should be worried about that game at all. I'm just saying from a personal standpoint, if they were to lose that game,
oh, it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
It's going to be bad for you. Well, the bracket's over, but it's going to be bad for you on social media. I would tap out of social media.
I wouldn't look
today.
at social media if I were you.
Our company sort of lives on social media.
Well, just for a day.
I don't know if you noticed that. I sort of drive our company's social media.
Whatever.
Taylor tells me I'm very important.
Auburn is actually ticked up to a 13.5-point favorite. Alabama's actually ticked down to a 9-point favorite.
No, more on that in a second. But here's Bruce Pearl talking about just how tough, and remember their Final Four run with New Mexico State, how tough this first game is to sort of get going, get churning in the tournament.
I think that what we've always done and what I've tried to do is just compartmentalize this, make it smaller for the players. We have to win 2 games to get to the Sweet 16. Okay, we can't do that till we win the first one. And so oftentimes the toughest game in this tournament is the first one. And so we understand that, if we played Yale a lot of times, over a period of time, we would have the advantage because we're deeper and we're a little bigger, and folks would say we're better. We have a better seed than they do. But they can beat us in a game, absolutely. They led Kansas for 30 minutes this year. You all saw them in Spokane play with Gonzaga. Had a double-digit lead at some point early in that game. So, but there are 4 teams in this pot: us and Yale, and San Diego State and UAB, and those are the 4 teams. One of those teams is going to the Sweet 16. And so that's how we're compartmentalizing it.
That's a good way to do it. And a great point that I wanted to bring up is who Yale has played. They're not going to be scared by the name on the uniform or that they're from the SEC because they have played on the road at Gonzaga.
Yeah.
They have played Kansas this year.
Well, here's the big difference, though. Auburn is arguably the deepest team in this tournament. And Yale, much like Kansas, doesn't have a lot of depth. They're starting 5, all average double figures. You guys will see Danny Wolf, the 7-footer we've been talking about. He can shoot it. He can put it. He can put it on the wood. The guy can play, and they're not going to be. They're not going to be intimidated. They play great defense. I just don't see them. And Bruce says that perfectly, sets it up. Because, yeah, in a one-game situation, you saw Oakland beat Kentucky. I think if they play that 20 more times, Kentucky probably wins 20 of those games.
That's why there's very few upsets ever in the NBA playoffs because you play series.
Yeah, their strength of schedule at KenPom is 127. And to make a quick comparison, it's not that dissimilar from Gonzaga and St. Mary's. Gonzaga's 101 and St. Mary's is 108. So strength of schedule-wise at KenPom, they're kind of where Gonzaga and St. Mary's are.
Have you guys looked ahead and seen the numbers for Saturday?
I have not.
There are some teams that these numbers are really interesting.
Maybe more on that in the next segment, but let's get to Alabama here. See if the audio people in Spokane, they didn't for Andy, who was first, then for Bruce with Auburn. Let's see if they've got
expecting for the NCAA tournament. I mean, there's no money in this.
Let's see if by the time Nate was one of the last groups to be at the podium, if they fix the audio. Alabama in a game that everyone continues now to tell me is questionable whether Alabama can win this game. I mean, Fuhrman hinted at that, right, when he was with us, that Charleston, the way this is trending, is a live dog, was his quote.
Maybe I know nothing, but I don't think Charleston wins this game.
Yeah, here is Nate Oats talking about defense, as he's talked about, I don't know, since November with this team.
It's to the point you don't play defense, like your season's going to be over.
Not fixed.
So a lot of the defensive issues we've had, I feel, have come down to just decisions you got to make. How hard do you want to play? How much do you want to be locked in? And if you can't get locked in when your season's on the line, I'm not sure what will get you locked in. So I felt like Monday and Tuesday's practices were pretty good. We got back to just really some of it was just doing some defensive fundamentals and going over some actions that, Charleston runs all kinds of sets. I mean, they're they're really good, but they've got some definite actions that you have to know how to guard. And we started putting that in Monday. Tuesday, I thought our guys were pretty locked in. So we'll see where we're at when we come out tomorrow, but I certainly hope we're playing with max effort and really locked into trying to get stops on the defensive end, regardless of what happens on the offensive end.
Well, at least he's not giving up on it. I don't think you're ever going to see Alabama play good defense this year. I just think that's who they are. I mean, if their offense is clicking, they can overcome that. Obviously, it's the best offense in the country at times this year. Well, I just don't think you're going to see them get stops.
The Charleston Cougars, 34th nationally in scoring, 80 points per game. They are undefeated when did you not say when they score 80 plus?
Yeah, they have not lost a game where they've scored 80 or more.
They've won 12 straight, so it's a team that will play with a lot of confidence.
You said it's hard to imagine Alabama holding them under 80.
I don't know how they would.
Yeah.
If I'm Nate, though, we've seen enough of Charleston now. I say that kind of jokingly, but I put on Kentucky, and I'm like, guys, if you don't play with defensive effort, here's what's going to happen to you.
Yeah, I mean, you would like to think you wouldn't have to do that at this point of the year, but you're right. I mean, you saw a great example of it last night.
I mean, over a 2-week period, they gave up, 117 to Kentucky, 105 and 102 to Florida.
Yeah.
That's pathetic.
Just real quick, Jim. Charleston's losses this year, they scored 74, 69, 78, 74, 60, 64, 72. I mean, so there you see where they're not comfortable playing. Once they get over 80, they've won all their games.
And this total's 173, so, you know.
Yeah, Nate's not going to slow it down, so
nope.
It's fast. All right, that sets the table for all three teams today. UAB, they go again at 12:45, 10:45 in Spokane on TNT. Auburn goes at 3:15 on TNT against Yale, and then Alabama, a night game here, a late afternoon game out in Spokane against Charleston at 6:35. That one's on True TV. When we come back, we'll go to Spokane. We'll check in with Little T. The show being brought to you by our friends at Hemphill. Tell us about Hemphill, LT.
Yeah, trusted name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Adam, Chad, Andrew, call them today, 205-229-2090. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
A big day in sports history today. On this day in sports history, 55 years ago, UCLA basketball became the first team and still the only team ever to three-peat as national champions. They went on to win 4 more straight, so they won 7 straight. But on this day in history, 55 years ago, they were the first to three-peat, and we haven't had one other than them ever.
And I don't think we'll ever see one again. Even if UConn was to win it, which a lot of people believe they will, they're not winning 3 straight.
On this day in history, in 1894, we played the first Stanley Cup game.
Yeah.
It's been around a while.
So that first signature on the...
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe we'll make this a big trophy one day. And then on this day in history, in 1934, they played the first round of the Augusta National Invitational Tournament, better known today as...
The Masters.
So in 10 years, we'll have the 100th anniversary of the Masters. How big of a deal will that be, or will the Masters be like it's not a big deal?
No, they'll make a big deal out of it, I would think. They'll probably have some commemorative merchandise that you can buy for a price.
Yeah. Sandwich prices will still be the same.
Oh, yeah.
All right, top of the hour, brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Thanks yesterday, kicking us off with a great lunch up here. You can go by. They're about to open the door there in about 40 seconds in Alabaster on Highway 119, champy'schicken.com. That is sterling. That's great food, good Southern food. Cooks it to order, brined overnight. All the great hand-cut chicken fingers and the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales that LT loves. It is champy'schicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
It's that time of year again. The Legacy Swap and Drop promotion is back. It's bigger than ever. Swap your current auto loan or RV loan to Legacy and drop your interest rate and monthly payment. Don't miss out on this opportunity to save big with our friends at Legacy Credit Union. Not a member yet? That's okay. You too can save by becoming a member today. Head over to swapanddrop.com. Apply in minutes. That's swapanddrop.com. Or visit one of their 9 greater Birmingham area branches. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Hang out with the next round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the next round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Tournament time is almost here, but any time is a great time to jump on with MyBookie.ag. When you sign up at MyBookie.ag, use code NEXTROUND for a special sign-on bonus. You can use that bonus right away. Win once with it, it is yours and yours forever. Not like some of the sites that make you win 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times before you keep the bonus. You win once at MyBookie.ag, it is yours forever. Basketball tournaments, NBA, the start of Major League Baseball, NASCAR, and golf. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, we continue with the Champies Hour now. We told you about Champy's Chicken. Let me tell you about the Autograph app right here. Autograph is the app that you can sign up with multiple teams here all on one account.
That's
I've
right.
learned
It's
today.
crazy.
I don't need 3 accounts anymore.
Almost like they knew what they were doing.
I just need one account. You just put your email address in and the promo code TNR. It's absolutely free, and then you can put every SEC team that's in here on the Autograph app and get all the good information, podcast, post-game, and everything. Download it this weekend. See where your fandom gets you. It's the Autograph app, QR code on your screen. It's available in your app store, and again, it's free. All you have to do is put in your email address and the code TNR, and it's free, and they've got fan points there where you can earn great discounts on merchandise, also tickets. Like some people got into tickets up in Nashville for $16 to go watch some SEC tournament action. That's where little T and I were last week, but she's not in Nashville anymore. She's out in Spokane, Washington, and it looks like you're in the arena, little T.
I am.
How about that? Courtside.
Yes, I came. I went and put my stuff down, so I'm trying to find my way around for game time.
Okay, pretty amazing yesterday that you are on the one flight, and the biggest question for Alabama and their fan base, where is Nick Pringle? And he's just a few seats in front of you. It was amazing footage that you were able to capture there. Did you I know he stands out, so I know immediately you were like, there he is. But did you have any conversation with him?
No, I didn't. So what happened was I typically try and wait until the flight, till the last people are boarding. So I don't want to get in there and just sit down. So I had sat at a little table and I was charging my phone. I was typing on my iPad, so I wasn't really paying attention to who was around me. And I look up to see if everyone else is boarded, and I turn around and there he is. And so I immediately, then I got on my phone. That's when I texted y'all, and I was like, y'all, I took a picture first because I was like, in case they run away. And I end up walking down the entire boardwalk. I guess, I don't know what to call it. That's what I'm gonna call it. I was directly behind him. He had someone with him that I think knew exactly what I was doing. So I did not say anything, no, but it was surprising. I talked to someone that's here with Alabama last night, and they said, well, when we heard that you were on that flight, we were like, yeah, that's probably the one that he's going to be on.
Of course he's going to be on Little T's flight, the social media director.
And then they said that someone walked into their team meeting last night and was like, yeah, guys, that we were right. She's on that flight and has tweeted it.
I mean, are you hearing it? I would assume if he's there, he's going to play, right? I mean, any buzz on that?
I didn't make it to any of the practice or anything yesterday. Auburn and UAB were both done by the time I got here, and Alabama was wrapped. I would have maybe got the last 5 minutes of Nate Oats. But I think that they were doing their team practice, they were doing it somewhere else. And then he met them there and then came to the arena with the team. So as far as I know, yeah, I'll be playing. But I didn't ask that question because after I said that it was announced in their team meeting that I sent it out, I was like, well, it actually wasn't me, but I did provide the footage. Yeah, I said, but I waited until we were all seated and they were seated in front of me, so I wouldn't have to walk past them again because they 100% knew who it was coming from.
Taylor Corn is with us, Little T, our social media director. You can follow at Next Round Live on social media for all of our coverage presented by Autograph. Download the Autograph app with code TNR as well. What is the atmosphere like there? There are not a lot of teams nearby that are playing in this region. You flew up with some UAB fans and Nick Pringle. It's not going to be like Nashville by any stretch of the imagination, but the amount of orange and blue, crimson and green and gold that you have seen.
I haven't seen a ton of people out and about, but I haven't really been out and about that much. The only people that I've really seen are the fans who are staying in the same hotel as I am. I walked around a little bit yesterday after I checked into the hotel. I've seen some Auburn fans at my hotel, but I saw some fans, it seemed like, starting to arrive. But I feel like I haven't been able to get a good feel for that yet, just because I really haven't done anything besides sit in the hotel. That's where I ate dinner last night. But I've seen Auburn people. I don't know if they're staying there because if they're staying where I am because they know that's where the team's staying. But yeah, I haven't really gotten a good feel for that yet.
Yeah, and for those, you're right there with Auburn and Alabama and the team hotel, the best hotel, the highest seated team, best hotel there in Spokane is where you're hanging out. And just that dynamic of being in the coaches are in the same eateries and drinkeries, and all the assistants are down there doing pre-scout. UAB's somewhere close by, and they're coming over to that hotel, hanging out with the other basketball staffs. That's got to be a pretty cool scene down in the bar food area, just to see all of our local coaching staffs hanging out like we're in downtown Homewood for a game here in Birmingham.
Oh, it was crazy because I actually, Dunaway texted me or called me, and he said, what are you doing? Making sure that I got checked in, everything was good. And I said, well, I'm eating dinner. And he said, Taylor, it's 4:30. And I said, yeah, well, it's 4:30 here, but I'm hungry and I also am ready to go to bed. So when I got down there, I just ate at the hotel bar. It was basically empty because no one else is eating dinner that early. I probably sat, because I was watching the game down there, so I sat down there for a while. I turn around, Bruce is hanging out down there. I waved, said hello, and then I sit back down. I'm kind of trying to do some work stuff, eat my meal. I'm just watching the TV. Someone taps my back, and Steven walked up. And I was able to talk to him for a little while, but it was very strange just being in that atmosphere. And there were, like you said, coaches from all three teams. They were just sitting down there, hanging out, watching the games. But it was interesting because the end of the Kentucky game, Bruce was down there during the end of the Kentucky game. So he was kind of standing like a little bit behind the pole, so I couldn't really see his reaction. But there were a lot of coaches down there watching that one. And the fans that were there were going crazy every time that Oakland hit a shot.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Hey, Autograph brings this report and all of her coverage from Spokane. Autograph's the app, QR code's on the screen. It'll be in every one of her posts. You'll be able to just do an easy click to follow them on social media and be with Autograph all off season. It'll be great during football season as well. Autograph, download it in your app store. It is free, code TNR. The question I've got to ask, if you were eating dinner, do they have ranch dressing in Spokane, or is that a Southern thing? Because you put ranch on everything.
Yes, they do. I got it with my meal, and I tweeted a picture of my chicken fingers last night, and Brown said 1 ranch. It got to the point where my bartender waiter that was serving me last night, when he walked by, he would just drop another one down and ask for it to go back. Then I texted y'all last night, and I was like, I think that the coaches that are sitting behind me, obviously, they are used to like the strict meal plan for their players. They're eating what they need to be eating. And here I am, I'm downing a thing of ranch with every single chicken finger I eat. I was like, they are probably like gagging right now watching what's happening. But yes, they have ranch.
I've never seen
They don't have like honey. They don't have like honey mustard, or where I was last night though, they were like, yeah, we don't really have like dipping stuff besides ranch, but ranch is all I need.
Nothing like a good glass of red with some chicken fingers.
Chicken fingers and fries, a glass of red.
Red wine, chicken fingers and fries are on the screen right now, your meal.
And ranch.
Well, you are cosmopolitan.
Yeah, I'll have the kids' meal entree
with a Chardonnay.
We've never served this combo.
Hey, do me a favor before you go here. Can you flip the screen around? Just let everybody see what the arena looks like here. Does it have a BJCC feel to it? Is it? I'm going to ask. Is it bigger than Auburn Arena? Is it about the same size?
Wow.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Don't know what.
I'm just asking.
Well,
How
first
big
off,
is
you
it?
Stop doing that. You know the answer to that.
Of course he does.
You
So
know.
you know what was happening there.
No, it's no, I don't. It doesn't feel like the BJCC to me. It's yes, it's bigger than Neville Arena, if that's what you're trying to get me to say. But
Is it brighter than Cole McCullen's Hill?
Yeah. Do the
yes,
lights
it's
work?
bigger than Neville Arena. Yes. So far, yeah. But I like it. It's hard to tell without fans being in here yet, so I might be able to speak better on this.
Flip it around again and give us a slow pan around the arena. Give us a 360 spin around, just so we all
Okay.
see it.
Now, little T, when we were up in Huntsville, the Von Braun Center did a good job of putting famous acts and different musical groups and performers that had come through that venue. Any idea? Have you seen anything like that? Like, did the Eagles play their first ever gig in Spokane? I mean, anything random?
I'm not that I've seen, but I also haven't really looked. So I'm not sure, but not that it's not being promoted or advertised. If so, it's mostly March Madness.
Are there more banners hanging from the rafters in Spokane or Neville Arena?
Well, 0 here. So
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the name of the arena here that you're in? Because I just
Spokane Memorial, I think.
I did.
Very original.
I put that in there, and it said it was demolished in 1995.
Clearly not. Little T standing there.
Yeah, I'm here.
It's a time warp. Hey, how long was the layover in Denver? Because I told you, every time I go through Denver, it's hours. I'm stuck there.
So it's actually funny because originally I think it was supposed to be like 40 minutes ish, but we got a little delayed when I was landing. There was another, like the plane before us hadn't got out yet, so we had to taxi for a little. And then when I got off, Lance texted me and just said like, be safe, whatever. And I had asked where my layover was, and I said Denver, and he said what he just said. I always end up there for hours. I go out, I walk to my gate, delayed on the screen, and I was like, well, but it only ends up being delayed like 20 minutes, and I think that we made up the time in the air. So it was probably a little over 40 minutes, but it wasn't bad. I was able to watch some of the first games, and then I hit the road, me and Nick.
UAB locker room reaction, Auburn locker room reaction, and Alabama locker room reaction all day at Next Round Live from Little T up there in Spokane, all brought to you by the Autograph app. Download the Autograph app, use code TNR to activate it there, and follow your favorite teams with Autograph. All right, have fun, Little T. We look forward to all the coverage.
Bye, guys.
Thanks. That's Taylor Corn, our social media director, and now covering Auburn, Alabama, and UAB right there in Spokane.
The Spokane Shock of Arena Football 2 plays in this arena.
That's Eli's league, right? Is that where Eli Gold's working now?
I do not know. It hosted the 2007 U.S. Figure Skating Championship.
Well, can't beat that.
Yeah. A lot of figure skating goes on in this arena, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Bull riding rolled through there. So some of our former interns have rolled through there. And they host Division I tournaments and a hockey team in the area.
Somebody said they bet Nirvana played there, Lance.
Yeah, I would say probably.
I think Nirvana played.
This one opened in 1995.
Okay, maybe not then.
Replacing the old Spokane Memorial Coliseum.
Clearly, I was incorrect on the Nirvana.
Spokane, Nirvana was still rocking in 95.
No, Jim, they were not.
Oh, they were not. Right.
They lost a key member of the group.
They did.
Why is nobody coming?
That was in
anymore?
April of 93 or 94.
Rockstar, I think our guitar and drums are the best they've ever been.
Spokane Chiefs of the World Hockey League, or the West Coast Hockey League. All right, that's Spokane. That's where Little T is. 12,600. Perfect size arena to me.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
I don't know if I was building one in Tuscaloosa, I'd probably make it 12,600. All right, show being brought to you in part today by our friends right there at
Spin the wheel.
The Rump Shaker.
The Rump Shaker.
Tell us about the Rump Shaker, LT. That's is that this weekend?
That is coming up tomorrow. Yes,
Tomorrow.
the 16th annual Rump Shaker 5K tomorrow at Regents Field. To get registered for more information on this great event, rumpshakerinc.org. Did you realize that colon cancer, second leading cause of cancer deaths in America. It affects men and women equally. If you're 45 or older, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer, it's beatable, it's treatable, it's preventable. Early detection is the key. RumpShakerInc.org for more information.
You said that yesterday there was someone or some people on social media that were at least critical of Little T sending out, or us sending out the photo Little T took of Nick
They
Pringle.
mentioned Little T.
She took the photo, obviously.
One person was like, why would you send that out?
Well, A, he is on a public flight.
Right.
And B, I can promise you, we talked about this on the Odie show yesterday. I wanted to bring it back up here, though. I can promise you who was actually happy we sent that out was Nate Oats. Because it gave Nate Oats an opportunity to go to Nick Pringle and say, all right, is this the image you wanted when you made the decisions you made?
Well, in the story we heard, there was another altercation between Nate Oats and Nick Pringle, which is ridiculous that he had to have this situation again. Pringle was, and I don't know if this has been embellished, was basically booted off the bus.
Yeah, but
you get to Spokane how you want.
The official word from Nate is personal reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
With all that said,
personal,
if there is insubordination again from Pringle, I can't believe the guy's playing. He ain't that good. I mean, they need the bodies. I get it.
They absolutely need the bodies. So why, to quote Bobby Bowden, why do I punish the rest of the team?
I get
because
it.
You're a dumb butt.
But the problem is you've got guys coming back, and I saw somebody in the chat, Aaron Estrada is the only guy that doesn't have eligibility. These guys come back, and they don't like their minutes they're getting, or they don't like a certain thing, then they can just bark at Nate Oats. It's just a bad example has been set.
All right, so walk-ons today for us. We'll be down at walk-ons from 1 o'clock watching the UAB game. Basically, we'll be there at 12:45 watching the UAB game, and it's a live watch-in. You watch us and the UAB game at the same time. We'll react to what's going on with UAB. It's a UAB watch party at walk-ons. That's walk-ons here at Greystone off of 280 and 119. So come on out and hang with us all afternoon, and then that will bleed right over into the Auburn game, and then you can watch the Alabama game there tonight with our great friends at Walk-On. So we've got a little UAB watch party going on at Walk-Ons 280 and 119 this afternoon. Come hang out with us. When we come back, we'll do trash, and then it's Friday. The Floribama Lounge coming up to end the show, so we'll kick off the weekend. All that's coming up with Rockstar right here on the next round.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the next round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com. Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th Annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
You have all heard of Red Wing Shoes, but what is Red Wing Shoes? It's the place where men buy boots, plain and simple. Who are Red Wing's customers? They are construction workers, warehouse employees, college students, the guy that fixes your AC, the guy at the end of the bar, the IT guy. Red Wing is a father, Red Wing is a son, Red Wing is a cult following shared by all men. A classic, comfortable pair of cool boots with a story to tell. What's your Red Wing story? Red Wing Shoe Stores, located in Pelham and Trussville.
Hey, back with you on the next round. Show being brought to you by our friends at Legacy, LegacyCreditUnion.com. I'll tell you more about Legacy in just a second. But first, Rockstar, if you'll give me cut number 7. Deion Sanders, by the way,
primed,
said that his son Shador, if he'd come out in the draft last year, would have been the second quarterback overall taken in the NFL draft.
In this upcoming draft? Or
Yeah. If he had come out.
That's not the craziest thing in the
So
world.
I assume he thinks it would have been Caleb and then Shador.
Then him in front of the Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, that's what makes it a bold statement. But, I mean, there's a team that could fall in love with Shador Sanders.
Could be.
Yeah.
But the soundbite you're about to hear here, Forrester has curated it because it was a long rant, right? From Deion Sanders, the rant was long.
Yeah, he went a good 3 minutes on this.
Yeah, so it was 3 minutes.
Cut it down a little bit.
We've condensed it. Well, we haven't. Forrester has condensed it a little bit here. But this is Deion Sanders reacting earlier this week about the article about him not making any in-home visits since he was the coach at Colorado. Here's Deion Sanders' thoughts on that article.
Let me address something else that I think I need to address. I don't know who did it. I don't know if they're in here. If they are, you could just raise your hand like we did when we were in nursery and we said here. There's an article that said I don't go on visits. Okay. My approach, it's totally different than many coaches' approach. Sometimes I'm a businessman as well, so I try to save our university money every darn chance I get. So for me to go to, let's just say I'm going to Florida and I'm visiting whatever school, IMG. You don't think those coaches are going to be a little upset if I don't come by the school down the street? You don't think it's going to be pandemonium if I'm going to get naysayed if I don't go another 45 minutes? Then if I go to that one, then I go, well, I didn't come to that school. Now the coach is mad, so he's not going to let the kid come. Parents don't want me at their house. They want to come see my house. I know when I was in college, I did not want Bobby Bowden in my house because I knew after 7 o'clock it was going to be rats and roaches on parade doing their thing. We target mostly guys that's in the portal. When do you make visits to portal guys' homes? Anybody do that? He don't give a darn about the parade that you want to take him on. He wants to know, okay, how are you going to use me? How can you help me get to the league? And what am I going to get paid? That's it. That's the world we live in now. Kid coming here. Going there is just showcase for me. That's just blowing money. Just blowing a bag. Don't make sense. And I can't do the things other coaches can do. You know why? I'm Coach Prime. And I didn't stutter when I said it.
You didn't. It's nothing new. I mean, that's one of the more egotistical, and this is a high bar for Deion Sanders. One of the more egotistical things I've ever heard him say.
I love Dion, but boy, I don't like Dion the coach. I don't. And I think he's brought a ton of exposure to the university, so he shouldn't feel bad about wasting their money, and that is a lame excuse. And if you're going to IMG, if the school down the road has got a player that is worthy of you recruiting, get your ass down the road. You think, and if they don't, then their coaches understand. We don't have a guy that can play on your roster.
You don't think Nick Saban and Kirby Smart and Steve Sarkisian deal with that? Like, I go to IMG and there's a school 5 minutes down the road and they're pissed I didn't come there. You don't think those guys deal with that?
Well,
of
and
course they do.
If it's worth going, those guys go there.
Yeah.
That is one of the most lame excuses I have ever seen, and this is the reason, and I think you and I agree on this, and I'm sure you probably agree, Brown, that this is going to be it for Dion in Colorado. And I don't think, because I think it's going to be another disastrous season. And I say that. I mean, his kid is that good. His kid is an NFL quarterback.
You were out of the room talking to some of our guests up here. I started off by saying it wasn't part of the soundbite, and we do not have the soundbite, but he said that he thinks if Shedeur had come out last year, he'd be the second quarterback taken in this draft.
When you're looking at pure upside, maybe. I mean, I find it hard to believe he would have gone over Jaden Daniels, but maybe.
All it takes one team to fall in love with him. I mean, it's not the craziest thing he's ever said.
With all that said, I think he is a quarterback capable of maybe winning 3 or 4 games in this newly aligned Big 12, but I still think it's going to be a disaster of a season. I don't think they get bowl eligible. I mean, we've seen that schedule. Is it not? It's
tough.
It's not what it was last year.
Yeah, but it's still tough.
But I mean, they were 1-8 in their final 9 games last year, and they weren't even competitive in some of those games. So I just don't see this getting much better. And I think when his kid goes on to the NFL, he's going to go out, and I don't know if anybody gives him another opportunity.
Do you not make in-home visits? And I'm genuinely asking this question. To portal guys? I mean, do you
Portal
not
comes
go
on campus?
Well, yeah, but you don't go visit their house too.
I don't think a lot of people go visit portal houses.
Well, I would if it was big enough, man. I'd be in front of them every time I could get.
Brody makes a point. You will find Kirby Smart watching recruits play high school basketball on a random night in January.
100%.
Ryan Day was here in Birmingham.
Yeah, what did that lead to?
He got the 5-star recruit from Parker
That's
because
right.
he was at the high school basketball game.
He was at a high school basketball game.
Yeah, and here's what I would look at. What are his recruiting numbers right now?
Oh, not good, because it only right now counts high school, and he barely signs any high school guys.
This wouldn't be a story if he was killing at recruiting.
Yeah,
by the way,
even in the portal, it wouldn't be a story.
By the way, he wanted the guy who wrote the story who wasn't in the room because it was a national guy to raise his hand. I guess he was going to try to embarrass him, but he didn't deny it. He didn't make any hint.
No.
So the story was 100% correct.
Yeah.
Now, I guess
what did I say that was wrong?
Yeah,
you just said you don't go on visits.
I guess his.
So here, if we're going to go preschool, here.
Yeah, I guess his retort would be
Nursery.
I guess
they do that nursery.
His retort would be, why did you not ask me for my comment? I can explain why I don't go anywhere. That would be what his frustration is. Yeah. But you're absolutely right. All he did was verify that the story is 100% true.
Yeah. By the way, the story, and I think also talked about how was about Dion and what he's done for Colorado. 25% increase in enrollment, 50% increase in African American enrollment. Football program got a lot of attention, game day and all that last year. All the stuff he did, all that without making.
Okay, the laziest excuse was, I don't want to offend the school down the road. The second was, I'm a businessman and I don't want the company to waste money or the university to waste money on me.
Yeah, I don't
Do
believe
you
that
think
one.
with the money that he's brought in, first of all, you shouldn't worry about that. If you want to have a successful program, they've got to spend money to make money. That is such a lame excuse.
Yep. I didn't like that. I like a lot of what Dion has said. I did not like that one at all.
We are underway with Florida Atlantic and Northwestern. The show being brought to you by our friends at Legacy, LegacyCreditUnion.com, to learn about engaged checking and everything they offer year-round. 9 local branches, major supporter for UAB, but also right now the swap and drop program that is ongoing. Auto loans as low as 5.50%. Car loans, truck loans, boat loans, ATV loans, anything that you have a loan on, a monthly payment, you can swap it over to Legacy from the current provider and get a better rate, both monthly payment and the payoff at the end. Swapanddrop.com, swapanddrop.com. The QR code is on the screen. And you can also just go to the website, swapanddrop.com, with the wonderful folks at Legacy. Rockstar sings. We'll keep you updated on basketball, where Northwestern leads Florida Atlantic right now, 6-5. Another free throw coming up. But they've already played through a timeout, low-scoring start in a Northwestern game. Imagine that. Football, basketball does not matter. Slow start there. Florida Atlantic trying to recreate the magic they had last year with some of the same personnel. We'll be watching that game closely and the other tip-offs coming up. UAB about an hour and 15 minutes away from playing. We'll be at walk-ons for that. But right now, it is time for trash as soon as Rockstar hits the rather oversized button.
At the belt. And now the 3-2 swung on. A foul back here.
Ow!
So hard.
It really hit me. I didn't know it was coming back that far.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
I assume he has dentures.
John Sterling?
Yeah, because he's got to be in his late 70s, right?
I think he's, approaching 80.
I think he's in his 80s.
I mean, that could have been disastrous if that gets him in the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Right has been advocating for veterans since their company began. As a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being, they can help you find the best terms available, guide you through every step of the process. Visit their location, Highway 280 in Birmingham. You can apply, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
85, Lance. He's 85
years old.
John Sterling.
Did you guys see the classic 1989 Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze? Sam Elliott.
I've seen it, yeah.
Ben Gazzara.
Yeah,
Kelly
that's
Lynch.
another movie I
You've
haven't
never
seen.
it?
Yeah.
Very cheesy, but one of those movies you grow up on, so it's kind of, it's got the nostalgia, but it's iconic, and every time it comes on, I'll stop and watch it. Jack loves it.
In the 80s, he was considered a heartthrob.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, because I remember dating a girl.
Yeah, Ghost is when it really blew up, and that was 1991.
That's what I was going to say. I remember dating a girl, and we watched a double feature one night hanging at her place, Roadhouse and Ghost.
Yeah, both good movies. I mean, well, Roadhouse.
She's a Swayze girl. Huh?
Roadhouse not a good movie. My point was going to be.
And she was kissing me. We didn't look anything alike.
Doug Liman, who did Go and Swingers, and did one of the Matt Damon, what I couldn't watch because shaky camera, where he played a badass.
Elysium.
No. Where there was a series of them.
Bourne?
Oh,
yeah.
the Bourne Identities?
And Lyman did one of the Bournes.
Yeah, I like those.
But I like Doug Liman, so he's directing Jake Gyllenhaal in the newest one, and Conor McGregor's in there, and I really didn't care anything about watching it. But after reading some of the reviews, it's gotten like mid-70s on Rotten Tomatoes. It drops tonight on Amazon Prime. But they say it is 3 times, it's one of the most violent movies you can watch. It's 3 times more violent than the original.
Wow.
So I will check this out. Will you check it out, Rocky?
Absolutely not. Tim talked about it on the Meltdown yesterday. I think it dropped yesterday at 2 a.m.
Okay.
And,
So I'm going to watch it with Jack. Well, I guess I can't watch tonight.
This Ghostbusters.
I ain't going to be able to stay up till midnight.
The Ghostbusters they're advertising, is this a remake? Is it...
no, it's a sequel to the one that just came out in 2020.
And Paul Rudd is in it?
Yes, he was in the last one too.
Now, the Manning brothers, that's just a spoof. They're not in it.
That's just a commercial.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Bill Murray makes an appearance.
I'll tell you,
He
that might be in
does.
the commercials
They
right
ask
now.
him, he's like an old advisor, what would you have done back in your day?
Yeah. So we revived
Zero
him.
chance I watch that one.
I
Will you watch
liked,
that?
I liked the original.
I like Paul Rudd.
The one that came out was okay, but it's like the big thing was it was going to be a reveal of the original Ghostbusters with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson, yeah, because...
Then they're bringing him back in this one, too. So it's like we're going to have another sequel and we're going to be a big reveal of the original cast. Like, we've already done
How's
it.
Harold Ramis look now?
There's a little twist on the first one. And that's why it's just super cheesy.
Our buddy Jody watched New Roadhouse last night. It was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. I don't know when I'm going to be able to see it now. But we start first in Houston, Texas. The 3 bank robbery suspects, dubbed the Little Rascals, are now in custody, according to the FBI. Now, the trio made headlines when authorities shared on social media they were wanted for allegedly robbing a Wells Fargo bank. Seems like there is a lot of bank robberies in Texas.
That's interesting. I wonder why. Everybody got a gun?
I guess it's just a big place. Initially, a witness told officials the boys appeared to be between the ages of 14 and 18, but in the arrest update, the FBI said they're 16, 12, and 11.
Oh, crap.
The age of the younger two, they went on to say, quote, is unusual for a bank robbery. I guess it is.
Well, that's unusual.
FBI Houston released the surveillance photos that you're looking at right here. According to this, the boys passed a threatening note to the teller. They were believed to be armed, though they did not present a weapon. They got away with an undisclosed amount of cash. But third boy was handled by a law enforcement agency following a fight and recognized. Sheriff's office said authorities recovered a weapon and a distinctive item pictured in one of the photos.
If you just show me the bottom part, if you can go back full, Forrester, you could say this picture was taken in the 80s at an MTV Music Award. Michael Jackson, Wham, and whoever you want to make the back artist there, the way they're dressed there and those shapes of everybody there, like George Michael is the
back
the
would be
middle
Rick
guy.
Allen, right? He's missing his hand.
Two guys are missing their hands, it looks like.
A man from India acted on a decision to customize his family car, the Maruti Suzuki Wagon R, to look like a helicopter, and he called it a carcopter. Now, acting on a dream of having a car resembling the concept of a helicopter, the man, Ishwar Dean, wielded a helicopter's rotor blade onto the car's roof, then attached the tail boom to the boot of the vehicle. Dean devised the carcopter in the hopes of renting it out as a unique appeal for weddings in order to earn some extra income for the family. Unfortunately, police seized the carcopter during a traffic stop when the maker was told the creation. He took it to a workshop to get it painted. He was fined undisclosed amount under the charge of violating motor rules.
Yeah.
It doesn't fly, though, does it?
Oh, you don't know, but it doesn't stick out either.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
think this
say-
would be cool to rent for like weddings and stuff.
Yeah,
what are
I'm
you
gonna
talking
say
about, Ishwar?
No, it doesn't fly.
Yeah, I would say it looks like he put his ceiling fan on top of it.
My favorite is the random charge you got. You violated motor rules, and I think everybody knows you can't do that.
Boy, this next one's going to beat you guys up.
Oh, no.
NASA has suggested that the technology to take humans to Mars could be available as early as the 2030s, but don't start dreaming about life in outer space just yet. Last year, researchers combined studies, bunch of different institutions here, to look into potential impact of life on Mars, and they have now said it is declared unsafe for humans to live as no one can survive for longer than 4 years. How long was Matt Damon on Mars?
That couldn't have been more than a year. I
think
no, it had to be because it takes 2 years to get there.
Yeah,
almost.
that was actually a pretty good
But they
movie.
had to turn around halfway.
Did you agree?
Yeah, it was a great movie. It was one of those ones where, like, I love that movie, but I don't.
I'll
mind
never see it again.
Seen it again.
Yeah, I got forced to watch it on the flight back from 2015 Clemson, Alabama. Have you guys?
I've never seen The Martian.
I think you and Jennifer would like The Martian.
Is that where he grows the potatoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was okay.
Why did you say this was going to beat me up?
Because you're not going to be able to live on Mars.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, again, I cannot believe
the new frontier.
The people that actually want to leave the planet to live on another planet.
Yeah.
Just try Europe
Now,
first or Costa Rica.
There are some people I would not mind doing this.
Oh, yeah.
If they want to go live on Mars, I will sign them right up for it and maybe even pay their way.
Just I hope we never have like a sports agreement with the people that are living on Mars, because there's a good chance UAB, Alabama, and Auburn will get seated there for the NCAA tournament.
Spokane.
It's a long road trip.
It was.
I don't know how you're not still doing stand-up.
Save some laughs for the rest of us.
What if we made it a penal colony the way Australia was back in the day?
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
It's like the movie, the TV series Silo. We could just tell everybody that they're all living fantastically.
How far did you make it on
Mars.
Silo?
Yeah. I've done the one season. I'm waiting for.
Did you like? So I tapped out about
fantastic.
6 in.
Oh, fantastic!
Okay,
fantastic.
I don't know if I would remember that. It was a long time ago.
Set up for season 2.
Okay. An Ohio dad arrested for repeatedly calling a school and then the police to complain about his child's homework. The Oxford Police Department tells Today.com that Adam Sizemore called the police approximately 18 or 19 times in less than an hour. Sizemore tells Today.com in a voicemail that, quote, most of the accusations aren't true. Quote, I'm a single dad of a boy and a girl, and I'm just trying to do the best I can. That's all I can do. People make mistakes, according to the police report sent to Today.com by the Oxford Police Department. Adam Sizemore repeatedly called Kramer Elementary School, quote, because his son gets homework, which takes away from the time he has with him after school. According to the police report, school resource officer spoke to Sizemore several times on the phone, instructing him to stop calling. The officer said that he noted that Sizemore's speech was slurred, asked if Sizemore was intoxicated.
Why?
And Sizemore said, no, I'm, quote, high.
Oh, thank you for the clarifications, Mr. Sizemore.
That day, Sizemore placed approximately 18 or 19 calls to the Oxford police station. He continued calling the police in an attempt to reach the police chief. He was transferred to the chief's voicemail. Police tell Today.com that Sizemore was charged 2 counts of telecommunications harassment.
I mean, I don't like it. Well, that's a dead hit right there, Lance. Good job. My kid, it seems like, has less homework than I used to have.
Oh,
both my kids.
Jack has got a ton of homework.
Samuel says, I have an 11-year-old. Kid's never had homework. He's about to be in 6th grade. Is this normal?
Mine's had very little, and it's very teacher to teacher as well, because Jennifer will hear that, like, some kids have a different teacher, have a lot of homework.
Jack gets popped.
Really?
Both of mine had a lot of homework.
Yeah, he's about, on average, an hour and a half to 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
That's a lot.
Both of mine had a lot, and Maggie has even more than they did.
Well, she's in graduate school, though.
Okay. Women
you're paying to do it.
confess specific things men do that give them the ick.
Uh-oh.
I think Dunaway's got these first 2
Whoa.
down.
Whoa.
Well, tell me if I'm wrong. It's not a shot. I mean,
how do y'all feel to show up when I'm not here?
It's not a shot.
Doing
It's not a
fake
shot.
golf air swings or baseball swings randomly.
Oh, I
You know,
do
a
that
lot
all
of
the
guys
time.
that do that.
Yeah.
I do that all the
Yeah,
time.
I mean, a
That
lot
gives
do.
them the ick.
Yeah.
Another one
I do
being
it left-handed, though.
Why? Why are you right-handed? Why are you bat
I do
left-handed?
left-handed batting.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just stretches my back out differently because I do everything else this way.
Yeah.
So I bat left-handed with the air.
Dunaway's a switch hitter.
next one being a grown man and wearing a backpack.
Oh, 100%.
No, I wear a backpack. I got to carry my stuff in something.
Yeah.
I don't wear it on like both. I just on one shoulder.
When Taylor and I went to a lot of basketball games this year, and her backpack, by the way, weighs no joke, it's closer to 100 pounds than it is to 50.
So her backpack weighs more than she does.
Probably so. It's insane how heavy it is. But occasionally we're separated, like we were in Nashville, and we're trying to find each other. And I oftentimes joke this year, I was like, I can't be hard to find. I'm the oldest man with a backpack.
Yeah, I like the backpack. I'm not going to apologize for that. I don't care if it gives anybody the ick.
Here's another icky thing that women don't like that men do when their nose whistles when breathing.
I don't think that's strictly a woman thing.
Yes.
Another one, biking outfits.
It kind of shows off.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, but I don't ever see, like, that would be a bad look, like coming in a restaurant with a biking outfit.
I occasionally see it like you're out and about and somebody stops at a convenience store.
Yeah, or they grab a coffee.
Yeah. Which I don't understand if you're biking and you grab a coffee.
Or they give a sermon. I mean, it's whatever.
Another one, men applying chapstick in public.
I don't know why that's.
Wait a minute. I do that all the time.
So right now,
very specific.
More on Brown than on me
I
so
mean,
far.
you drove by on Dunaway early, but I think I've got the lead
I just
here.
mentioned, too, I see him do golf swings all the time.
Yeah, I carry this in my pocket everywhere I go.
Now put it on. Show everybody how you put it on.
Oh, I like that. I mean,
these are women confessing specific things men do that give them the ick. I don't like this next one. When men wear flip-flops anywhere besides the pool or beach.
I never wear flip-flops.
Yep. I do at the pool or beach if I remember them. If not, I awkwardly walk barefoot.
I just don't like the feel of flip-flops. I don't like feeling that thing between my toes.
It's called a thong.
Yeah, I don't like that. And then,
I would rather have the sliders.
Yeah,
Daniel's right. So basically, men just existing.
Yeah, it's a great point.
I don't know what we do right.
Here's another. I really haven't seen this one. Tucking in shirt to workout shorts.
I've never seen that
oddly
one.
specific.
It used to be a thing, though, in the 80s. That was the way you wore your
tuck
T-shirts.
it in, you
tucked
ruffle it out. You pop it out a little bit.
And then finally, childish words used during foreplay like boobies, tummy, and bum.
What's wrong with that?
Boy, that would be a deal
Jim,
breaker.
you're going to have to confess this, Jim. I don't know if you do.
That is everything. That's all. Everything is that way with me.
Booby.
I still do that every time.
Is your tummy hurt?
Rockstar.
The best is McLovin on Superbad. I got a boner.
All right, that is 4 Downs today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Yeah, buying a home, major milestone in life, getting it right comes out of the right advice at the right time. That's why we're proud to partner with our friends at Mortgage Right who do mortgages the right way. Call them today, 205-815-9200, or online you can apply. MortgageRight.com/TNR, NMLS 2239, equal housing limit.
Baylor's out to an early lead on Colgate, 7-2. Northwestern and Florida Atlantic, 12-11 as they're at the under 8 break. So a low-scoring affair there. Colgate's in the tournament for the 4th straight year, trying to get a dub today against Baylor, another Big 12 school. And UAB's an hour away from a tip out in Spokane. We had Taylor on earlier. You can go check out our interview with Taylor Corn and see what the arena looks like there in Spokane that Auburn, Alabama, and UAB will play in today. They're all in the same place, same arena, in the same town out in eastern Washington. This hour of the show being brought to you by Champy's Chicken, Champy's world-famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, open, perfect for watching the games all throughout the brackets and March Madness. Brined overnight cooked to order fried chicken, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, hand-cut chicken fingers that are absolutely huge and fabulous. It's all right there at Champy's Chicken, Sterling and the Crew, Highway 119 in Alabaster.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the next round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Man, that's a bold question, but it's got that irresistible taste to back it up. One thing's for sure, when you've got an irresistible tasty match like zero sugar and 0 calories, something sensational is bound to happen. It's too bad you can't taste it with your ears, because this Coke Zero Sugar tastes amazing. Truthfully, it's hard to put into words, and that's my job. You'll have to take a taste for yourself. Coke Zero Sugar. Best Coke ever?
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Redmont Vodka bringing us part of the show today. I enjoyed a nice little Redmont Vodka last night down at Oddities for our show. Or walk-ons later today. I may roll with it again.
Yeah, locally owned and operated. Great product available in 22 states. Ask for it by name at your local bar or restaurant. If they don't have it, tell them to get it. It's gluten-free. It's 8 times distilled. Great for this weekend for all of the hoops action. It is Redmont Vodka.
16-12, Florida Atlantic has bounced out in front of Northwestern. Baylor, who I have in the Final Four, up 13-6 on Colgate. So I guess that's the first Final Four team that is playing today for any of us. So far, none of us have lost a Final Four team.
That would be incorrect, Jim Dunaway.
Brownie has, yeah.
Go Big Blue, CATS, Cats.
Yeah, all right. John Calipari still has a job right now, and so too does Rockstar. He's no longer behind the big board because Tyler is back there now.
Hey, Tyler.
Tyler's about to run the board like he's at a big major concert venue because it is time for the lounge.
I was just going to ask, big plans this weekend?
No, I've seen like 4 or 5 movies this week. I kind of want to chill.
How many are anime?
Only one.
Yeah, Tyler at Meltdown, social media, Meltdown 247, did an amazing breakdown of an anime movie he saw. And I've never seen Tyler more excited about anything than the anime movie he saw.
Really good. It's time. Go ahead.
He even called out AMC for not showing more.
Yeah, time now for the Floribama Lounge with our friend Rockstar. Rockstar's Lounge this year being brought to you by the Floribama.
How about this? As of today, 35 days away from the Mullet Toss 2024. Floribama.com /Mullet Toss.
Look at that scene, man.
39 live performances this weekend.
Oh, my gosh.
And it ain't the Mullet Toss, including the Bruce Smelly Band, Charlie Argo, Sean Lackey Band, and our man Big Earl and the Sexual Biscuits tonight and tomorrow night at 5:30 in the Dome. Uncle Steve tells us if you're not offended in the first 5 minutes, just wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, hey,
that's right, yes.
We had one of our listeners, Jack, who was down at Floribama last night. He sent me a picture of the sticker, one of our next round stickers on the wall. And I said, I guarantee you and your crew, you will not be able to do a shot for every one of those you see tonight.
No, you won't. And just real quick, Old River Grill, which is located across the street from the Bama, is fantastic food, the perfect spot for the NCAA tournament, 40-plus TVs and a great menu. We did our show from there last year, so get in, see Steve and Jen and all the fine folks at the Floribama.
Rockstar, what are you playing for us today?
Let's go back to the year 1991. I think I bought one of my first cassette singles, listened to this song over and over and over, and it's one of those artists that would not survive the Spotify era because buying the album, they were more of a Van Halen kind of band with an amazing guitarist named Nuno Bettencourt. They are always known for this song. They hated to be known for this song because they said, this is not our writing style. This is a one and done. We are more of almost a glam rock Van Halen type band, and this scarred us for our career, although it's the best song they've ever done. This is More Than Words by Extreme.
Oh, I love this song.
Sans harmony. It sucks. I'd love to have somebody with harmony.
Well, you want me to try?
Leave our mics open.
I've heard it before. I've heard it. Do you want me to try?
No, because I can't play the guitar part either. So
Oh.
this is going to be a dumbed down version of More Than Words.
I love this song.
I do too. It's Rockstar in the Lounge, presented by the one and only Floribama.
Said I love you is not the words I want to hear from you. It's not that I want you not to say, but if you only knew how easy it would be to show me how you feel. More than words is all you have to do to make it real. Then you didn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I already know. What would you do if my heart was torn into more than words to show you feel that your love for me is real? What would you say if I took those words away? Then you couldn't make things new just by saying I love you. La-da-dee-da, la-dee-da, la-da-da. More than words. La-da-dee-da, la-dee-da. Now that I've tried to talk to you and make you understand, all you have to do is close your eyes and just reach out your hand and touch me. Hold me close, don't ever let me go. More than words is all I ever needed you to show. Then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I already know. What would you do if my heart was torn into more than words to show you feel that your love for me is real? What would you say if I took those words away? Then you couldn't make things new just by saying I love you. La-da-dee-da, la-dee-da, dee-da-da-da. More than words. La-da-dee-da, la-dee-da, da-da-da. More than words. La-da-dee-da, la-dee-da.
Oh, one of my favorites you have ever done right there.
It's a good
That
tune.
is Rockstar in the
Very, very
Lounge,
good.
brought to you by our friends at the Floribama.
Yeah, hey, look, again, we're 35 days away from the mullet toss. Saturday, March 30th, the Floribama Easter egg hunt. It's going to start at noon. Over 12,000 eggs hidden in the sand. The Easter Bunny's going to skydive in.
Oh, I love it.
This is going to be at 12:30 for pictures. Next weekend is Easter. Don't miss the Easter services. On the beach behind Floribama, worship on the water, always awesome. Good Friday service as well. For more information, floribama.com/Floribama Church. Check it out.
Did you, I put these two songs in the same category, To Be With You by Mr. Big
Yes.
and that song right there. Which one do you like? I mean, did that?
More than words, because I listened to that thing on repeat. I like
Such a
that
good
To Be
song.
With You, but I, like everybody else, was like, and seeing the video, was like, that's a chick on Mr. Big. It's a girl singing, right? That's a girl, and it's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
But
that's
that
a great
seems
song.
like a vocally challenging.
Oh, that's a really hard song to sing.
Oh,
they
yeah, I would
they also
imagine.
do a key change. They
They
do it up
do
in the
like
middle.
3 or 4 of them,
Yeah,
don't they?
it's a
Yeah.
really good song.
Okay, walk-ons today. We'll be there to watch the UAB game, which goes at 12:45, and we'll be there all afternoon long with the Blazers. It'll bleed over into the Auburn game. Great place to come watch the games this afternoon. Walk-ons just off of 280 and 119. We'll be there, the Greystone location, for that. Tell me how you think first the UAB game will go, then we'll do Auburn and Alabama, our last chance on this platform for this live show today to talk about it.
I think UAB is going to have some problems today. I hope I'm wrong. Again, I am pulling hard for UAB. Alejandro Vasquez is going to be the difference, though, if UAB's got to make some of those outside shots. Big battle between Yaks and Ladie down low. It's going to be fun to watch. I think the Aztecs win this game.
Yeah, I'm with Lance. I hate it for AK and that whole group, but I do think this is a San Diego State win.
A sexy upset pick today for all the national publications that I checked out. The Athletic, Bleacher Report, and Yahoo seem to think San Diego State could be in trouble with the hometown UAB Blazers. Butter will need to be good. Eric Gaines will need to be good on the outside to make this happen. For Auburn this afternoon against Yale, where yesterday upset of Kentucky and then the scare of Kansas has to maybe awaken that Auburn team that has great chemistry.
Yeah, too much depth. The number does concern me a little bit, but Yale has played a big-time schedule. They've got a really good defense. Auburn's just playing exceptionally right now. This 6-game winning streak where they're winning by an average of 19 points per game. I think too much depth for the Auburn Tigers. I think they win in advance.
I think Auburn wins this game going away. I think Auburn by something like 15 to 20 points.
Yeah, double digits is the way they usually win games.
Yep.
That's
This year.
pretty common for them.
And I think Alabama goes over the 100 mark and wins going away.
So I was going to ask you about Alabama. That's his thoughts. Tell me about Alabama.
Yeah,
LT for you.
I think it's going to be a track meet, and I think Alabama wins the game.
All right, so there you go. Table is set now for everyone. Action is underway at 2 venues, and then we're going to crank up UAB first for our in-state teams. Everybody's in Spokane. Follow us at Next Round Live, presented by Autograph. Taylor Korn, Little T, is out in Spokane, far away from home, doing a great job giving you all the content out there for UAB fans, Auburn fans, and Alabama fans at Next Round Live, including locker room interviews and reaction. We'll have live reactions from here after the game. She'll be giving you interviews and all the stuff you need to know like you're at the game from out there in Spokane. Thanks to Autograph. Download that app in your app store. Email address and then code TNR, and then pick your favorite teams and enjoy the content right there with Autograph, code TNR. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.